Hey Rob, what's going on? Ready for middle school?
Oh, hey Raja, how's it going? Yes, I am ready for middle school. We've got Andrew Webb on the left, Ty Tomlinson on the right. Two players you've seen before if you've been watching the stream. I'm
Ty
excited.
fires it up right away. City of Brass into Birds of Paradise. Ty fires it off. We'll see like what that acceleration does, right? We have planes on the other side opening, just planes, no other tricks. That's not probably the opening he wants, but we'll expect there's some tricks coming.
Funny
Uh,
enough about that planes, our players who know each other's lists right now were commenting to each other about each other's deck list, and Ty was like, "Oh, hey, you've only got one planes," and
Only
Andrew's
one.
response was, "Please don't destroy it." So planes already coming into play, already making
Oh
a difference
wow.
here.
Yeah, so that one planes means there's seven cards in the hand. Ty makes a wall of roots and then fires off Cabal Therapy. I'm gonna guess he named. We're seeing Force. I guess he'll probably name a swords. Maybe named Force. I don't know.
Well, we're
What's
already
he
cashing back
flashing
the
back?
flashback,
Okay, so he
so we
missed,
missed
and
the
he's
first
going
one.
for probably scroll. No, what would he have named if not scroll?
Land
He
tax.
didn't,
No,
but
because
he
the land
didn't
tax would
play
have
the
been
land
played.
tax.
Yeah,
So what would he have named?
Sea
Sea
Drake is
Drake?
the only other threat left. Meddling Mage,
Yeah,
maybe.
see, but
Meddling
that's
Mage
what
makes
I
sense.
assume. Meddling Mage, yeah, Meddling Mage makes sense. I assume Sea Drake was going to be the trick that Andrew might have, because if you lead on planes, like you need to be able to pick stuff up at some point. So okay, so we flash it back. All the Wall of Roots in the bin, Therapy exiled, Force of Wills gone.
Yep.
So there's some bantering. I think maybe we're thinking about what to e-tutor for. Um,
We're
okay.
just gonna
Instead, we're
swords
just
the
gonna
mana.
say
That makes sense, right? I mean, if we look, ties on a land that depletes itself and then a land that deals damage. So getting rid of the birds does
that
make a
makes
lot of
sense.
sense. There's no life gain, so it's kind of free.
And
We
you
can still
have a
e-tutor on
scroll,
upkeep.
and you have an e-tutor, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like I got all the things that I want. Probably the only thing you want is a land tax here, but
Well, and we know Ty or Andrew knows that Ty has Alluren in his deck, so you need 4 mana to cast that. With the birds, you're the one land drop away.
one
So
land.
I think
Yeah.
that that's totally reasonable.
No, I agree. I agree. And yeah, you're right with the depletion. Having only two cards in your hand is not great on the other side, though. Okay, here's three mana, two
Wow.
gemstone mines. He
Ooh,
jams.
spicy.
That
We're good.
is
That's a recruiter.
the recruiter. Okay.
So we're gonna recruit
Every
for
time he puts
something.
a card down, it pixelates on me. I'm like, what?
Oh yeah.
So what is he
Fair.
gonna? What am I gonna get if I'm playing the
This,
Allure deck? What am
I
I
think
getting
this
here?
entirely depends on what's in Ty's hand, right? I mean, if Ty has the Alluren, we're going for maybe some combo pieces, but I think otherwise we might be just be going. Now I gotta go look at his list and figure out what his
We
options
can't
are
we can't
now.
get Alluren, right? Because we know our opponent has Seal of Cleansing.
Um, well, so I think Andrew's mana is bad enough right now that he can't get it right now. So if we have
Right.
a Lorne in play, we can still play it, and with the right combination of cards, Steely Cleansing won't matter. And I think right now Steely Cleansing might even be too late because I don't think Andrew's going to get it. And
Right.
yeah, no, he doesn't cast it. He doesn't misses a land drop, and Ty gets to
So he
untap
passes
and
it
has a
back.
window.
Yeah, so Andrew has three cards in his hand. We know one is Enlightened Tutor. He only has two lands, so he's feeling pretty bad there. He takes a bash from an Imperial Recruiter.
Yep. He
Ouch.
does have daze mana. We could daze. Daze is in this
Uh,
list.
just a hard cast days, and he can pick up an island also. He has one.
So maybe we have
Um,
double days. So
and Ty has to
Ty.
really make a decision here too, right? Because of the like you mentioned the land pinch here. If he casts a spell that's three mana, he's going to lose a land.
Yes, and then if he does it again the next turn, he loses another one. And
Right.
so his window is now, which he's going to cash in. Oh, he's going to cash in that land. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
fascinating. I
He has the land drop this turn, right? So he's going to
Yeah, so we can
cantrip
still get a
into a
land drop.
land, right?
Yeah, I I don't know what's better there,
Interesting.
chat. What do you guys think? Do you
Interesting.
think keeping both mines at one or having a one mine on two is better when you're missing land drops? I don't know.
I don't know. Chat is concerned with the pizza rolls, I think it looks like.
Fair, reasonable. Pizza rolls OP.
Looks like Andrew's having a look with the
Yeah, we get the
rack.
scroll rack now. All right.
Hopefully
Still
that.
not enlightening tutor.
Yeah, I think we just gotta hold out. Like I was mentioning, I think you want to save that in
There we go.
case you need to get the. Oh, what do we met? Is that what is that?
Void Mage
Oh,
Prodigy.
so
Spicy
he can
meatballs.
counter Alluren or whatever he's gonna do. He just has to sack that guy, right?
Does it have an activation cost other than sacrifice? Does it need to tap for mana?
I don't think.
All right, I'm looking it up right now. Oracle text. It does. It is a counter spell, so you do have to play 2 blue. So there's another window, which of course Ty doesn't have because he's missed a land drop. So he will play Wall of Roots, which does give him, it is a mana source, but now Andrew has has the shields up. So long as
Right.
these basic islands stay on tap. Now, notably, Ty did lose a land, so he does not
He
activate the
doesn't
land
get to
tax.
tax.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Oh, there's
The
the
All
Drake. All right.
Star. Okay.
It was gonna happen. We're racking, right? That's
Yeah.
when they get the rack online, it's just uh, it's so frustrating.
So
Um,
Andrew Webb making Sea Drake look incredible in this format.
Sea Drake's great. It's a beater. If only it was a wizard, right?
Right?
In this situation,
Yeah, if it was a
but
wizard, it'd be the complete package.
but again, I'm looking for Ty to work his way out of this. What is that Eladomri's called?
That's got to be for Birds of Paradise or another root, Wall of Roots.
Uh,
It's for birds.
birds.
Yeah,
It's for
we
birds.
have to.
Okay. And we can't get it countered by the Void Mage Prodigy.
Nope, not
Is
this
there a
turn.
force of will or no? Oh,
We get
okay.
a dazed.
I thought there was a daze
Oh
coming
man,
there.
wouldn't that have been the beatdowns? And then we really could have
That,
played the Delver and just
that
beat
would have
down
been
with our flyer.
sick,
And that's what we're
nasty.
gonna do.
Yeah,
We're gonna leave counterspell up.
yeah.
Notably, land tax still will not trigger.
Indeed.
Ty did lose his
So
other land.
Ty is looking for what here? We have to play. We have to get to Alluren. We have 3 mana. We have 4 mana now, and we have 3 cards in hand. It looks like 2 cards.
I mean, if we're just on like double Alluren, I think we just
Jam
go.
it.
Oh,
Oh,
Spike Feeder. Okay,
Spike Feeder.
that's
Okay,
fine.
keep us alive a little bit. There's a lot of
So
random guys in this deck, right? So like, I could see us playing a lot of more random guys, and there may be more in the hand.
if you've ever played Legacy Alluren, you know that the alternate game plan is just play good, efficient creatures and win the game that way. In
Okay.
middle school, your creatures are a lot more derpy
Right.
and a lot less like good, mid-rangey things. So the not Alluren plan is not great against something like Andrew's deck, I think.
Yeah, and
Because
what do you think we're meddling maging here? We're
oh, definitely
meddling mage
Alluren.
Alluren, right? So
Knowing what's in his deck. So notably, Ty does have 2 copies of Academy Rector. So if we play those, we can still get an Alluren into play.
we can get there.
But like the biggest creature in Ty's deck is this the Spike Feeder. I mean, we have some wish targets that might, prove useful, but like right now, it's the Spike Feeder, man. So Spike Feeder's gonna get outclassed by this 4/4 or 4/3 rather.
Yeah, 4/3.
Yep.
My kingdom for the bolt. That's the only problem with the Sea Drake, I guess, right? It dies to a bolt, but
It does die to bolt, so but so does Delver, so it's okay.
yeah, you got a Void Mage Prodigy with now 2 wizards.
We do
So
have 2 wizards. All right. What do we think we sacrifice first, the Prodigy or the Meddling Mage?
it just depends on what he's casting. I think, right? I think you're kind of knowing what else is in the deck. I think it's probably you just drop the meddling mage, right? Just depending on what he's casting.
So, side note here, we often see Wall of Roots and the Spike Feeder in similar like survival style decks or creature decks like this.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen counters being moved onto Wall of Roots to generate more mana?
I have not seen that. But that's an interesting line.
I
Definitely.
I want to see that on stream. Someone make it happen, please. Build the
I
deck.
think.
Make it work.
I mean, we've been talking a lot about ramp in our chat recently. Yeah, so there's a lot of cool things to ramp, ways to ramp, but what are we ramping into? I guess Alluren in this deck, but why
Yep.
would you want to move counters onto Wall of Roots? Tell us, chat. Yeah, why? Okay, here we go. Another
Oh,
spike
oh!
feeder.
Look, now we can make a 4/4. Now we need to find. Oh no! Here's what we do: we move all the counters onto the
The
birds,
Birds of
and
Paradise, and then
birds
we can
can then
block.
block profitably.
Probably when we can move one counter at the end of this turn.
It's not
Um,
fast enough.
right, and
But
then well, one counter at the end of this turn, and then we can move the rest next turn, I think, and go to
if we can
one.
get if we can get at least 3, that will block.
Yeah, so he's doing it. He's moving one now,
All right. This
and
is excellent. I'm on board.
yeah. So next turn he has two colorless, and yeah, he can get three onto there next turn, and go to one.
I like this. So does have a window to stabilize. Now look at his mana. His mana is very painful.
Yeah,
So he might go to 1 to do this. I mean, he can gain some
yeah,
life off of one of the counters if he can't move all of them. So he can at least
yeah.
gain 2 life. But
He can
Andrew's in
move.
a very comfortable position.
Yeah, he can move. He can move the two, go to one, and then he can gain life because the gain life is just removing the cat. You don't have to pay for that,
Yep.
right?
So
So yeah.
Andrew's deck is firing on all cylinders. He's got
So
his
he's
land
gonna.
tax rack
Oh,
engine.
even better. He's gonna like. He's gonna attack into him, put damage on the stack, and then
Oh
move.
my goodness. Oh my
He's like, I have two
goodness.
walls,
Ty, the
baby. You
master.
can't even. Yeah, I'm gonna move all. This is great.
Yeah.
Good maneuvering by Ty. I told Andrew before the match I would try not to overtly root for Alluren, but I'm now overtly rooting for Alluren.
I want Alluren to get at least a game for sure. Chat, who do you want? Do you want Alluren? Or do you want, the Delver player, aka Sea Drake player?
Yeah, I think Andrew. How many cards does he have?
I mean, Void Mage Prodigy is sweet. I will give style points for that.
Oh yeah, I think that's an upgrade or a shift in this list, right? I don't think I saw that in his list before.
Yeah. So Andrew has played this list once upon a league, and he's playing it again in this league, and that may be a change from the last time he played.
If it's not, and then I just missed it because it's a sweet card, so I wouldn't have missed it. I think if it was noticed by me,
Fair.
um, but yeah. What are we doing?
What
We
are we
moved.
doing?
I don't know.
That's not the same thing as putting your counters on two
No,
birds. I mean, I guess
no,
we can
it's
gain life.
not.
So like,
I guess we're gonna gain life, but
oh
man.
nope,
Okay.
Control Z, reverse
All right.
action.
He can't hear us, folks, so it's not based on anything we're saying. But what I want the counters to get moved, but I think he's trying to think now he's going to lose the wall. So you could still do it with damage on the stack, right? And block with the wall, but you don't kill the thing, right? So you don't kill the Sea Drake, or you move
No.
one. No, it's only so it's a +1/+1. So
Yeah,
now,
I
right
don't know if
now, it's a
attacking with
1/2.
both of these was actually the best, just because now they can't block. And
Yeah.
Andrew's got 3 creatures, and Ty is at 1. And we need at least 2 of
Yeah.
these counters. We can block 1 ground creature, and we can take 2 and go to 1, because we're going to gain 1 life, and 2 counters are going to get moved. I don't know. This is...
How did Ty go to 1? What did Ty go to 1
So Ty
for?
was at 2, and he had to take a damage to move 1 counter onto the birds at the end of his turn using the city. So
I don't think he.
luckily,
Oh, it's because I was counting the wall of fruits backwards.
yeah,
All right. Yeah. So that's why he had to do it. Okay. So my math was wrong anyway.
yep.
Um.
So we can do 2 things. We can either remove a counter.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
The
we can
birds
block and
taps. Okay.
then put the damage and then put damage on the stack
Block, then
afterwards
move the. Yeah. So he's
and tap
moving
the
all the
birds.
counters. Then he can put the damage on the stack. Now.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
This way we
Great.
get to at least like keep a Spike feeder around just in case.
Yeah.
Oh, I realize
Nice.
there's also a
Okay.
wall of blossoms that can block. Okay, so this wasn't a
Yeah.
dangerous attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
So
wall of
we
blossoms
trade
was
with the
there.
Sea
It was
Drake.
just the wall of roots that I was like, okay, I guess you have to do it on his turn, but
Yep.
we did get to trade. He's gonna just jam another one here, right here, probably,
Of
right?
course,
So
he's got scroll wreck. He's got extra cards. Um, but this was a really good use of a spike feeder, I think. And here
yeah.
comes the next Sea Drake. All right, so, hmm. All right,
Boo.
ties in a pickle again. He's got to draw. I don't know what he can draw.
Yeah,
Nope.
he's in,
He didn't
he can
draw it.
draw
That's what he didn't do.
scoop phase. Yeah, scoop phase
That's
there.
so
It,
unfortunate. He worked so hard to survive.
he
I'm
did.
really
I liked
sad.
the maneuvering. It's good maneuvering. Very good maneuvering. Unfortunately, yeah, probably Andrew was sitting on that guy. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
you did.
Like I said, he was in a good position. So our players are going
Mhm.
to go ahead and move to sideboarding. Does Ty have anything cool to bring in against Andrew here?
Well, let's see. If I'm Ty, I want uh, maybe I have a black hate spell like gloom or
He's got a Mesmeric Fiend, so that's just good hand
okay,
disruption. That seems okay. He
yeah.
does have
So
some Xantid Swarms, which, Andrew does have a number of counter magic spells,
okay,
and Sword to Plowshare, so, like, that's just
yeah, uh-huh,
helpful. We do have
yeah.
Pernicious Deed, which is good against Andrew. Very good against
I
Andrew.
would I would definitely go the deed route here,
Absolutely.
and probably look to bring in the extra mana war and probably the Rector, and then probably cut some of the non-combo pieces
It's
in the main deck.
possible that the Mana War may be required to execute the combo in the
Oh,
sideboard,
I'm saying,
or because you can wish
oh,
for
you
it.
want it in the sideboard because you wish
Yeah,
for
we've
it.
got one of
Okay,
the. I mean, maybe not. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe it is better main deck just to kind of fight these Sea Drakes. Because if you are
that's
Andrew and
my
you have to
thought.
keep bouncing your lands to your hand, then the Mana Wars actually provide some good tempo. I'd
Yeah.
be about that. Um, that'd be okay with me. So you
What's
can
the other
always
one?
wish for the other recruiter to like grab a
Stern
Mana War in your hand.
Proctor. I like that one too. Stern Proctor.
Sure. All right, let's
Uh,
see what Andrew's got because Andrew also has a sideboard.
oh
Um,
gosh, I don't even want to know.
Andrew's got some amount of engineered plague,
Okay.
which is you could name birds, and that just seriously hampers Ty's ability to kind of ramp and make mana.
Uh,
Another Seal of Cleansing, I do like that. That seems
uh,
fine.
I think that's fine. I think I would lean more on the back to basics and probably yeah.
Sure,
So back to basics, seal of cleansing. I'll probably leave out the e plague.
that seems
Just
reasonable.
kind
He
of
does have two annuls. Annuls seem real
yeah.
solid.
Annul is where I was headed. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go more than just those two enchantments, I would probably go to the two annuls. But I think if you're Andrew, you can probably sideboard pretty lightly with just an extra seal of cleansing and a back to basics. And your main deck plan is pretty good.
Well, so Andrew and Ty know each other's lists. So Andrew can see those deeds, and he may decide to bring in those annuls, knowing
Hmm.
that those are likely coming in, which I think is very
Right.
reasonable.
That's
So,
that's also reasonable. Sideboard
yep.
move. I personally am like not a huge fan of that. But I do understand where if you're game up, maybe you just say I'll go with two more nulls. But what do you cut then? You
Sure.
cut some togs, I guess.
You
Probably.
probably don't need every tog. I could see
Yeah.
that. Um, there's probably, I mean, Sword to Plowshares might be fine if we want to attack the mana. Um,
I, th- I think we
Winter
stick
Orb may
with
not be where we want to be.
yeah with therapy probably on the four ofs. Maybe you should just shave one of each of the four ofs. Uh, at least one of the forces. You shave. Um,
Yeah, that seems fine.
I have a difficult time sideboarding in general, but I would say like that's why I would go really light in Andrew's deck in general because you take out two togs, put in like a seal and a back to basics, and then that's
Sure.
it. But yeah, if you want to go null, you might be want to take out I don't know one force of will.
And
Uh,
maybe you can take out the force because really you want to force specifically like either the cabal therapies, maybe, or you want to force the actual combo cards, and that's what a null does, only cheaper.
right,
You could also take out maybe a daze because the null does the same thing for sort of the same amount of mana and tempo, right? You know,
right,
one land apiece. So
yeah. Kyle, they have each other's deck list because they have played against each other a bunch of times and they kind of
yep,
already knew each other's lists. So they decided to fully share.
yep. They shared
All right,
them.
so we have a tie opening up pretty fast.
Woohoo!
I see a Xanthid Swarm, Caves of Kolos. Is that a what is that?
That is a Havenwood Hollow, I
Havenwood
believe.
Hollow. Okay, a lot of
It
hollow
is an
trees.
all-star out of Fallen Empires. It
Yeah,
taps for green, or you
it's
can
got the
tap and
fifth
sack it for
edition
double
one though.
green.
It's got the fifth edition one.
Oh
So the Xanthid
no, we're
Swarm
getting the
is gonna
swords. All
eat a
right, insects
swords.
go farming.
Andrew again is gonna have his only planes in play, ready to get destroyed. Uh, he has to fetch for it, but swords is still good to cast. Um, so that probably tells us that there's some counter spells in Andrew's hand. Maybe not. Maybe he
Yeah.
just wants to represent that.
Well, and Ty is representing Alluren next turn if he has a land drop that's
Right.
untapped. So there is definitely reason to want to be able to cast your spells. Here comes the meddling mage. I know it's a meddling mage. We're tapping two.
What a
Come on,
jerk.
put into play. Oh, the daggers. All right, untap mana source and deed. Let's go.
I like Deed here. Andrew should have what? 5 cards? Fiend. Okay, we're gonna see. We can count. One,
All
two,
right,
three, four, five, six.
is
Looks
there? Oh
like
wow, he brought
6
in
cards.
both e plagues and he's got more swords.
He did go
Wow.
engineered play, so he's just really probably. So he probably cut Sea Drakes then, and he's playing even
No, there's no way
more.
he cut the sea drakes, mate.
Well, what could you cut then if you're bringing so much creature hate here? Uh, I don't know.
I don't know
I don't
either,
know.
but this is wild. Um. All right, so let's think of the sequencing here. Do we think Ty just drew this Mesmeric Fiend, or do you think he had the opportunity to play that before the Xantid Swarm?
Yeah, chat says I'm right about kind of his Sea Drakes. I think again in Andrew's mind, he just says like I can't lose to his creatures, right?
Sure, this
And
this is true.
so I'm gonna keep maybe one Sea Drake,
One Sea Drake
and I'm
is
gonna
fine.
find it. I'm gonna find it eventually once I get my engine online, and I just keep everything off the table on his side of the board.
Yeah, I mean, if your
Uh,
plan is to bring in E Plagues, then Sea Drakes are completely unblockable at that point.
yeah.
And
So you don't, you just control the game until you play
mm,
that as your finisher, right?
but
You don't need
isn't that what
4 in the
Tog is
deck.
doing? I don't know.
Maybe yeah, so maybe you just have a Tog left, right? Or a few
Sure,
Togs left.
I could see that being the case.
And you just have to attack. You attack into some 1/1s maybe for a few turns, and then finally you break
Wow,
through.
look at the mana. He has his basic swamp too.
Oh, good lord! And so we have Ty coming in with the therapy. What does
That's
he
real
name
good.
off of it? He names E
Three
Plague.
swords down.
He got the swords. Okay, so we got the swords are gone. Meddling Mage is doing work, bashing in here.
Yep.
Let's check on our life totals. So ties down to 15 here.
Can you imagine a back to basics here? All right, so we've named Nightmare, I believe, and I think this has got a name of birds.
Must be on bird. Yeah. So here's the
Oh
deed.
snap!
We have 2 cards in Andrew's hand. We know one is not as one days. One is not. It's not force. It's not
Is it
dazed.
a white
Uh,
source? If it's not a white source because he could have e-tutored for
the seal of
the
cleansing.
Sela cleansing, but he doesn't have an
Okay,
untapped
so
white source.
Ty is about to wreck the world if he can I don't know what you do here. You probably just leave it up, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, because you want to blow up for 3, so you're just going to pass the turn,
Yeah,
and
just
that also prevents
pass.
Andrew from like casting anything like relevant to the board, playing any Mox
Yeah,
Diamonds.
yeah. And you can do it at the very end of the turn. Each can take 2 damage not easily,
Yep.
and then you just get kind of a free turn there. Um,
So let's look at this. After this deed activation, we will have gotten rid of 2 out of potentially 3 E-Plagues, 1 Meddling
yep.
Mage, and 3 Sword to Plowshares will be in the bin, in the graveyard.
Okay,
So,
so we're not even doing it. We're not even popping it yet. So Ty took his turn without popping the deed because Gemstone is on 1, right? So that's why he doesn't want
sure.
to do it.
That's fair. He is a land drop. He's got another turn. He can use his life total as a resource. Drop down 2
Okay, so
more,
he'll
go
go
to
to
9.
9. Yeah, and he has 4 cards in his hand. One, two, three, four. Passes it back. Andrew is getting a dangerously high number of cards into his hand. I guess he
Yeah,
knows there's no stifle, so he's not worried about getting his deed stifled. But so he goes and activates it in the attack step, or is that the end step? Looks like
that
it's
was
the
the
end
end
step.
step, I believe, because Ty did drop down to 7.
Okay.
Um, so now let's see what Ty does here. We're going to start with a Cabal Therapy, I imagine. Yep, we're going to
Yep.
name Force of Will, which is unfortunate if there's a daze.
Yep.
Um, I guess
I'm
we're going to
gonna
cast a
cast the
card that we
Mighty
do know
Tutor.
about.
Okay.
Because Ty is still representing Alluren this turn. He does have the 4 mana if he does tap and sack Haven, but to do so would lose 2 of his land. So,
Yeah, that's why I don't think he wants to do it unless he's, good to go.
all right, what is Ty going to
Uh,
name? I hope Ty's got another creature just in case we need to follow up with some more therapy action.
well, I think he has to name Force, right?
I mean,
But,
yeah. Dace is also a real card, unless we
yeah,
have another land drop.
based on how many cards he has in his hand, I feel like I
Yeah,
would name
I mean, a
Force.
null. There could be an
Ha!
null.
Oh no.
All right, so
We
we've
got
got Days. All
land,
right, shields
days.
are down
Okay.
if Ty has another land drop and a Lauren. I don't know if that's
Uh,
gonna happen.
yeah.
So
He
we
doesn't.
probably named Force. Wow, look at this hand from Andrew.
Yeah, it's like totally, vulnerable at this point.
Look at him
He's
not playing those basic lands either.
just trying to get to the scroll rack. He wants the scroll rack at
That
some
makes perfect
point.
sense.
And he's like, I'll get these back eventually through my IRS service.
All right, so Ty clearly does not have the extra land drop and the
Hell no.
Lauren.
So he's in the tank here. What's he going to do? Is going to just pass it back? Man.
Ty, make your opponent shuffle his library right now. Do
Oh,
it.
man.
Find a way.
Days does not shuffle the library,
No.
unfortunately.
And it's funny because if we just not cast therapy and just cast
Alluren with
the
1 mana
Alluren.
up. Yeah. I mean,
Although if
like
we
I
had done
said,
that,
though.
then he would have, and unless we're winning this turn, he would have absolutely untapped and drawn a. He would have tutored for a Steely Cleansing.
Yeah. So.
I mean, we could, conceivably let Andrew draw his rack and then try to go off next turn, but he'll get
It's
to
four.
rack,
It's a
and
lot of cards to look
that's
at. Yeah.
yeah, and one of them is blue, which is also a problem.
Yeah. You rack 4. You rack for 4, and then yeah, then you can activate it and still cast days and put 4 card. Look at 4 new. Yeah, man.
I mean, do we cast a creature now and then activate the therapy and take the days? Or
Maybe, yeah. I mean, again, he probably only has 3 drops, none of the 2 drops.
no, that would be real bad.
Oh
Oh,
man,
okay, so
that's
we are
why.
gonna.
Yeah. So next turn is just like, all right. So he's gonna do the Merfolk. Arctic Merfolk. This is the one that you kick to return a creature, right? This is one of the ways to keep the loop going. Yeah.
I believe so. I'm going to look it up exactly. Arctic Merfolk. All right. One blue, one colorless for a 1/1. Kicker is return a creature you control to
Yeah.
its owner's hand. So when you kick it, you just get a 1+1 counter on it. But by casting it, you can return
You
something
kick
else to
it
your
and
hand.
return your recruiter
Yep.
and recruit again.
Yes. And then you can
Uh,
bounce it with a Carven
Harpy.
Harpy
Yeah.
and then continue the loop.
Yeah.
So Ty still can play around days if he draws a land. I mean, this is like how the first match went, right? Like Ty was always just a land short from like doing the thing.
Yep. Here we go. And one time, baby.
Survey
Uh,
says
not a land.
womp womp. Well, I assume. Okay, nope. Man, and we got rid of these E-plagues and we still don't even have Birds of Paradise.
I know, man. Just attack him, I guess. Is it 2-1
Well,
or
okay, so
one
Chad
one?
is pointing out that we can use therapy now, right? So we can sacrifice our part of our combo engine if we want
All right, here we go.
to
We're doing it. Good job,
go for it.
chat. Chat, you got there.
Okay.
All right. And he scoops his cards up. He considers, do I want to scroll rack? How will I scroll rack if I rack? And what shall it be? How
I
many cards shall it
mean,
be? 4 or 5?
yeah, so the option is you let him grab days and get 3 new cards, or you put 4 cards in there and let him therapy one of those 4 cards. Potentially.
Unfortunately, one might be days.
One one could be days. Oh man. How unlucky would Ty be? Because I'm sure if you're Ty and your opponent draws 4 new cards, you have to name Force.
Right. Right. I think
All right.
there's one force down. Is there 0 forces in the
0
yard at
forces
this point?
down, and we know 1 days is getting put back. Or we assume 1 days are going to get put back.
Uh,
Maybe you don't.
the
Maybe you just
levels on as many
right put 3
levels.
cards back into your hand and like know that you have a blue card for Force. I don't know.
Yes, levels on levels. You think you took out the fouls? I don't think so. I don't.
Um,
I wouldn't. I would not guess that.
I
Uh,
if you're going to start out your win conditions and some creatures, then I imagine you're keeping in the Force of Wills to just make sure your opponent doesn't combo kill you.
yeah. I like I said earlier. I think if I was Andrew, I might shave one just for the therapy hits. But otherwise, probably not. All right. What do we name? We named force, and it's down. That was
Ooh,
there.
all
You
right.
got it. You got a force.
And
Here comes Alluren
Andrew only drew
and recruiter and all lands.
the bad cards. All right.
Lands plus
That's enough
mox.
to win. That is absolutely enough to win.
Oh wow. Okay.
All right. So Andrew
Scooping
scoops
it
it
up
up real
there. Shows the
fast.
recruiter. Andrew
Ty
knows the
revealing a
line.
hand of all of the best creatures in his combo deck. Wow. All right. Ty's going to snipe one out of Andrew's hands there.
Yeah, very nice. Very
Ty was
nice,
still at
Ty.
6. I guess he did take a bunch of meddling mage hits.
Yeah.
But yeah, proving that
Very nice. Very nice.
that Pernicious Deed is a very good magic card. And if your deck can play it, you should do so.
It's a great card. It's a great card. I very much like Deed.
All right, so Andrew's going to be able to play this next game. Chat, who do you think has the edge in this matchup?
Now we play back to basics, Kyle says.
Now we
I
play
mean,
back
I
to
think he
yes.
had the basics in there. Just probably you got to tutor for that. He only has one enlightened tutor though. I just noticing. Seems like not optimal, but he's drawn it and played it twice already, so maybe it's fine for him.
Yeah, back to basics would have been real good at almost any point in that game. But look at that Ty winning off of the back of Havenwood Hollow, like holy moly.
Yeah. Very
When we
nice.
say the mana base in middle school isn't good, and we need to go into the depths of fallen empires to fill it out. I mean, that should tell you something.
Indeed, indeed. All right, we're getting word that our match number 2 is already queued up, so no rush, no rush. But we got another hot one for you right after this.
So, chat, I will say I'm a little disappointed. I have been getting the name wrong. It is not Havenwood Hollow. It is Havenwood Battleground.
Battleground. Yeah, I thought there was a what is I was thinking of Hollow Trees. I think you were mixing
Yeah,
those two together.
that's what I
Hollow
was doing.
Trees is the other Fallen Empire's land that you can
And
be
I'm
tapped.
90% certain I did the same thing the last time Ty was on stream and I was talking about Fallen Empires All Star. I think they called me out then. Alrighty here. They're gonna draw their cards. Looks like Ty. I guess Andrew's gonna decide if he's keeping before Ty makes decisions. Chat saying that leading with therapy and then pretending he bricked a land was hot. Bring back Sea Drakes. Forget meddling mage aggro. Deal done.
um, wait, is that how it happened, chat? Am I misremembering this already? All right, we're firing up. We open with the land tax from Webb. Ties on the battleground, and it is tapped, of course. So we tax. We don't tax. We play a fetch land. Maybe we'll fail to find. We got a
Ooh.
tower, Phyrexian tower plus
This
battleground.
is
So we have mana now. We have
this is
enough to
starting
play
to look
Alluren
real good for
next
Ty. We're
turn.
gonna
Yeah,
swords the
Ty.
wall.
But Ty has almost enough mana to play Alluren. He needs to play a creature and a
I'm
land
kind of
next
sad
turn.
he wasn't able to remove a counter and play a birds.
Yeah, indeed. Andrew is efficiently operating his deck over here. Fetching for an island, gonna play a stupid meddling mage. Probably naming Alluren. And
Yeah, it's got to be a lord. But
that's
notably, we have the
okay.
tower. So now I'm optimistic for this. Um,
Academy Rector
for the
line,
Academy
right?
Rector.
So yeah.
We could also deed here, unless the mage has named deed.
Uh,
But we assume it's on a Lauren.
yeah, we go
Mesmeric
fiend.
Fiend. Okay, here we
Okay,
go.
I
Let's get
like
some
fiend.
information.
I like getting fiendish. I
Ooh,
love the
he's
art.
got the Sea Drakes
2 Sea
and the
Drakes,
Annul.
okay.
Okay,
Uh,
so we've got
so
Sea Drakes and Annul. I think we take Sea Drake. I think we take Annul here because he can't cast
did Ty
anything.
move? Why did he move the? Uh, why did he
Oh,
move the?
it's because he's sacrificing it for mana, so he's just gonna remove a card from Andrew's hand from the game
Okay,
permanently.
got it. With the
Because
stack, with it on the stack,
yeah,
he's gonna make 2 black.
yep.
That's a heads up play. So here you probably have to hit the annul, I think, right? And maybe he has a. Wait.
I
Do we
mean,
have
we've got an
another
active land
therapy?
tax, so he can cast any of these other creatures in his hand.
Yeah.
And the Psychotog is kind of a threat, although honestly, so are the Sea Drakes. So I think a null
Yeah.
because my plan is to like draw one of my
Still
good
gotta win.
enchantments.
Yeah, we gotta win. So you know, and
What do we
into the
remove?
next fiend. So he's gonna fiend one and remove one.
Oh, I see. Okay, he just decided all at the same time. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I like this.
That's fine.
I mean, we're in a better spot. We obviously don't have the combo, or we have another hand disruption ready and queued up for the annul, right? Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, we let him tax, so it brings him closer to you know, that scroll rack, natty scroll rack, or enlightened
Yep.
tutor, natty draw. So yeah, that's where we're at. We gotta maneuver here, and hopefully, we can hang on.
Now, notably, if we have a therapy, we already have enough mana in play right now to get Alluren in play if Alluren's not
Yeah.
named,
No, for
or
sure.
to even get our our deed. Now we've got
Ty
plains
drops
land.
a city of brass and passes back. Uh-oh.
Oh, all right. So this match, Ty has plenty of mana.
Ty has all the lands. Nothing he wants to do. We're taxing again.
Why? I'm curious why Ty decided to play that land then. Actually,
Uh, it is a curious question, but I assume he wants to build up to a turn where he can make multiple plays since he can't
yeah. I guess right
remove the
now.
annul.
But I think leaving Andrew at 3 lets him tax forever. He doesn't have to play a fourth land. And now he's got food for this Psychotog, and that worries me. But Ty's a sharp
Yeah.
player. I'm sure he's got a plan.
So, yeah. And yeah, if I'm Ty, probably I have 1, 2 cards or 3 cards. 3 cards or 4 cards, maybe. So I got to figure we're trying to build up to a turn where we can execute multiple things in one turn. But like you said, I mean, this taxing situation is going to get out of hand, and we're going to find a scroll rack or an analog for that
Yeah.
in Light and Tutor.
Now, notably,
Um,
Ty can sack his battlegrounds to go back down to 3 land if he's got
sure,
something to do with it.
right.
And he still has technically 2 other green sources, so it's not the worst.
Oh, we're doing Tog math. Oh no.
Let's see, because there's 2, 4, 6, 8 cards in hand, 3 in the graveyard. So that's 8 plus 4 plus 1 more. So that's, yikes, that's 13 damage, theoretically. 13
Yeah,
plus his power is
yeah.
14, plus this meddling mage is
There's one.
almost Ty's left total.
Well, there's a Woodrow. I represent that comment, indeed. He can't gush because he only has one island in play. So I will guess that he's just trying to get some extra damage in and, try to get his Sea Drake back from the Mesmeric Fiend. Or just play a different Sea Drake.
Oh no.
And that's why he's just
That's
kind of
more
being
food for the
conservative with
Psychotog.
the
All right,
Tog.
so
Yeah, he's being conservative with the Tog there because just, hey, you can get a few extra points of damage. No need to go crazy. Discard the whole hand. I'm going to beat face with my Sea Drake. I have a 2-turn clock, basically.
yeah,
Ty
I think
goes
this
to
tutor gets
Eldamri's
a
Call.
mesmeric fiend. No, gets a rector. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So this is where we want to be. That makes more sense. So we can rector. We
So
know Andrew's hand has nothing to stop this. This may
we
be
could
the
just win
end.
here. We could just be packing it in after this if we're Andrew.
Yep.
We did what we could do though. I mean, I don't think Andrew's misplayed with the cards that he's had. He just hasn't found the Enlightened Tutor, hasn't found the scroll rack, unfortunately, and wasn't able to execute fast enough with the beating plan with
Yeah.
that Mesmeric Fiend heads up play, right?
And I think even if Andrew like pitched everything to, well, we
He
could
was
have
still
played Sea
short.
Drake, bounced all the land to the hand, and then potentially pitched it
Then you
all
just
to the.
block, but then you just block with those Mesmeric Fiend.
Well, but could you do it like after blockers if he declares no blocks?
Right, but why would you not block? I mean, Ty would just do
Well, that's true.
math
Yeah,
then
Ty can do
if
the
he
math
did the
and figure out
bounce
he's dead if that's
first.
the case.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'd
yeah.
absolutely block. Yeah, this may just be Andrew may not have had any other choices. Which,
Yeah.
if that's the case, I feel really good for Alluren because we all wanted Alluren to win, even though we root for
Yeah,
all players
I'm.
equally.
We have the mana here to sack our battleground, make a white, make a colorless.
Yep.
Uh, we could even just sack the Mez Fiend and make 2 black, and then we have mana for the imaginary days. I don't know why we need more mana or what Ty is thinking about, unless he doesn't have it.
I mean, mana burn could theoretically be a thing if we can't just go off this turn. If
Hmm.
Ty doesn't have the combo, just has the Alluren, then well, I mean, we know he has the Alluren. If he doesn't have any of the combo pieces, then we still have to like kind of figure out our life total because we've got
Right.
8 power coming in the air.
So
So like
probably he doesn't have a recruiter, but maybe he has like a what? Uh,
he'd need to
Harpy.
have exactly a spike feeder
Okay. So
because he's going to
hopefully
go
he
down
has
to
that.
8 when he makes white mana, and that's
Okay.
going to put
Yeah.
him in danger for the Sea Drake. Well, there's only one Sea Drake. Sorry, one of them's removed. I lied. Okay, I feel better about that. So we could play Rector and pass, and then like block with it, get another draw step. Um, we
Play the
could
rector and block. Yeah.
conceivably, instead of getting Alluren, we could get a deed and blow up the board. Like, I mean,
that
that would
that
leave your
might
opponent
be.
with a Sea Drake and nothing else, because you'll get a Sea Drake back from this Mesmeric Fiend. But
Oh, I don't want
it's
to do that
dicey
though.
at the life total. But like, I
Uh,
mean, I feel like Alluren is like where you want to be.
yeah. Judge.
But Ty is
Time.
just trying to
Time.
figure out his angles, right?
Deep in the tank. No, deep in the tank. I want him to win, so I want him to figure it out. But I'm trying to figure out what he is figuring out, right?
Yeah, I
Uh,
think
what cards must he have to be this deep?
if we're concerned about this Tog, we know there's what 3 sort of player shows down, or was that last game? I don't remember.
It's last game.
That was
And
last game.
then,
So
yeah,
we could play the Rector and use it to block. That takes care of Tog pretty easily. Then we have 6 damage coming through, and we should be at 8, which should be just fine for us to untap and get a draw step and try to get there. But if we take 2 mana burn, then
right.
we're in trouble.
Okay, he wants to know what's in the bin or
Yep.
what's exiled. So based on that, he's trying to calculate the odds of what Andrew's going to draw next turn, right? Rector. Yes. Okay. So he's going to jam that down, go to 8, plan to block, right? Oh, plus some extra mana just in
Yep.
case for next
And
turn. Who
notably,
knows?
he's not. He's leaving. This could be a problem. He's leaving the stronghold untapped or tapped
Right.
rather.
Oh,
So
for
if
swords.
Andrew
If he
draws a
top
sword,
decks the swords. And
that's the
that's probably
game.
what he was doing, is just saying, like, well, what are the chances I'm going to take my chances this way? Right.
Yeah.
I want to, I guess I don't know why he wants that mana. Maybe he has 2 allurens in his hand. And he's going to next turn try to play them both through the annul if this guy gets swords, right?
Yeah. Well, we have to assume that Alluren is named.
Yes,
I mean,
indeed.
well, with this extra land, we absolutely next turn can just Wrath Andrew's board if we really want to. And let's see, do we have the mana to Wrath Andrew's board and cast Alluren, I believe.
M-
So maybe that's the play next
Four,
turn.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Uh oh, if you rector for
Yeah.
deed, you mean?
Yeah,
And
Rector for
then
Deed, or for the enchantment you're missing in hand.
yeah.
Yeah. So if we can do, we have one of those in hand.
I like where we're at. I don't know what Andrew's draw was. He did get to tax, and so he has a ton of tog food. But we have a very capable rector blocker. Um, yeah, no, and again, like, if he doesn't attack into Alluren, then we have a way to sack the rector, and I don't know why he would attack into a learn, except he's gonna die anyway next turn. Attack into the rector, and except he knows he's gonna die anyway when he sacks the rector.
All right. Andrew says math is for blockers.
Yeah, I mean, he must his top deck must not be it must be another land, right? Or a Mox Diamond or something, right? So
Yeah.
or a land tax. There's a ton of dead cards in this situation. Not a ton, but force doesn't really help you here, right? Any of the counter spells he doesn't want to see
Yeah.
at this point, really. Um, so
Yeah, I mean, Ty's topped
Ty's
out.
thinking about what the tricks are. What are the tricks? What are the
Uh,
tricks?
there aren't any tricks. I think it's just Ty can block, and then what's in his deck. I think that's where we are. And it's do we block with Mesmeric Fiend too, or do we save that for resources, otherwise? I think giving your opponent another Sea Drake doesn't really change the math here. You're either going to drop down to 4 or drop down to 2, and 1 Sea Drake is enough at either count.
Right. That's
Um,
why I'm not clear what he's thinking about.
unless you have the
I
Spike Feeder
guess.
in hand, maybe then dropping down to 4 is or I guess having 1 Sea Drake is fine because
Yeah.
if you go to 2, you can go back up to 6 and not die, maybe. But you also still have to deal with the whole board. I think we're just blocking with Rector and trying to win next turn.
Yeah, I mean, you have to block the meddling mage with the rector, right? I think that was the idea, or the probably the thought process is that you have to block meddling mage with rector to make sure rector dies. If you want rector to die, if you block Tog, then he doesn't have to pump Tog, right?
Right.
And
So yeah, I think you block the Meddling Mage with the Rector, and then block Psychotog with Mesmeric Fiend. I think that's what it is. Just to guarantee that Rector triggers.
yeah, see, yeah, let's get this audio on because
Yeah, chat was saying
I
he
don't
couldn't
hear.
afford the mana burn last turn. This is true, because he would have gone out of 6, and that would have been enough without any of the creatures. All right, Rector trigger. Trigger
Okay.
on the stack. Does it resolve? He goes down to 4. Oh, trigger's
Oh,
resolving. All right, chat. I think this is the first Rector trigger that's actually resolved in quite some time. They're normally
yo.
either getting removed from the graveyard before they actually resolve, or removed or swords altogether. So,
So that
all right.
Drake in front is back in Andrew's hand,
Yes, it should be after this
and
Rector resolves. Actually, no, it should be there right now.
yeah, it should be there now. But what are we doing here? What are we doing? If we're tie, if we can win, we try to win, right? But if
You know what's
maybe we
funny
can't
is
win.
with an Alluren, the Sea Drake can be cast at instant speed.
Aha.
So we can keep it in hand for Force of Will if that's what our mystery card is, or we can cast it at the end of turn.
I guess that is a concern for us if we're tie, right? Because if that card is Force of Will, yes, you can cast things for free, but it doesn't mean they're uncounterable,
Right, they
right?
still get countered. They have to resolve.
So, I mean, at this point, we blocked. So, like we said, I mean, can we deal with? We can deal with the board as it is if we get a deed, and then we have to take one bash from Sea Drake. But we're at 4, so that doesn't help us, right? So what are we doing? What are we doing? We are thinking about what to get, but I
We're
think the
making
only thing we
sure we
can get
win.
is Alluren, right? The only thing we can get is Alluren.
No, I mean
It's
we could
Alluren
get
or
we could get a
deed.
deed if we
Those are
really
the only
wanted to.
two
We could get a
things that you
deed,
can get.
but I think deed is
Andrew
bad because
scooping us up. He gets that and then says go. Okay, so Andrew plays down an island and is looking at that
Andrew
Drake.
has too many cards in hand, right? Does he have to go to discard?
Yeah, he's not playing the Drake, so yeah, if
All
he's
right.
not playing it, then he has
Yeah,
to
because
go
Drake
down.
can be cast at instant speed.
Boom, baby. Why mess around with it now? And also, yeah, because he would have more lands and he would be discarding even more lands, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we have Alluren.
All right, draw step. Let's go.
Draw
If I'm
step,
Ty,
baby.
I'm doing the one time dealer.
He's asking Andrew like, where should I cut it? Tell me where. Is it right here? Is it right
So
here?
if Ty wins, it's Andrew's
And
fault now. Is that what happened? All right.
yeah, you
All
gotta
right,
put
slow
it onto your
rolling.
opponent. Yeah, just flip it over, dog. I don't know what he needs, but if it is off the top, then I like to slam it on the table. It's never the right card. Oh, but we're tapping mana for something. That means we have deed.
Okay, we're going to go down to 3 to do this. There's a
Okay,
deed.
and we can do it for 3.
Maybe
Right?
Meddling Mage is like actually named like Recruiter.
Maybe.
All right.
We have Arctic
Ty is revealing
Merfolk
that
and
he's
another
dead,
Alluren.
I think.
Yeah, man. Oh no. And so that was the choice. Why did we get Alluren then? Because he was gonna deal her one time off the top?
Nah, yeah, we should have
It doesn't
absolutely.
matter. But it doesn't matter. Because
No.
he just waits, you know, he can flash it in. Um and
Oh, wow.
so you get a turn, I guess, but
Well,
like
Ty had a turn to do this.
yeah, man.
Oh, man. So close.
Yeah,
So
if you
close,
get a
Alluren.
learn there, you have the Arctic Merfolk. If if Meddling Major's naming a Lauren, then it's the only way to get it into play, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So
what the only other grab he could have gotten was Deed. And so he
yeah,
can untap, Deed away the board, or he can even wait until the next turn, Deed away the board, you know, and then Andrew plays Sea
yeah,
Drake, and Ty gets an additional draw step to draw, you know, a Cabal Therapy or something to get rid of the annul.
yeah.
That's the only
It's
other
not.
option, I think.
Yeah, it's not great overall.
Nope.
Well, good job, Ty. You fought hard.
Yeah, no, that
Uh,
was real close. That
well,
was
so I think that is a win and in. Yeah. So is this for our top 8?
it's
Are
definitely for top 8.
both in? And both could be still in
The
top 8
records
though.
for both players are as such that it is still possible Ty squeaks in to, you know, one of the bottom seeds. Andrew is definitely going to be in the kind of the top half of our top 8. And for those of you who have not seen our leagues before, we play the quarterfinals off stream, and then we'll play the semis. Or am I doing that wrong? Semis or quarters, whatever. We'll do the top 8
No.
round. To off camera, and then we'll
Yeah.
do the top 4 and the finals next week. So we'll see if we see Andrew back on stream next week. He'll play his top 8 round sometime in between now and Thursday. But we do have another game of Magic coming up next. So we're gonna go ahead and take a break while I go ahead and get them all squared away. So stay tuned.
Hey, what's up, Rob?
Howdy, Raja. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. It was a pretty good match that we just saw on that first round. I was rooting for Alluren, as you know, but didn't come
We
through
were
for
all,
us.
I think we're all there. I think the Meddling Mage Sea Drake deck is super sweet, but also Alluren is also much sweeter in a lot of ways,
Eh.
especially in a format with worse cards. So I was definitely hoping to see it get there. We saw it happen one game. That definitely warms our hearts a little bit. Maybe we'll just clip that, and everyone will think he wins the match from now on. I don't know.
Well, chat was pretty adamant that both players are going to make the top eight. So hopefully, then we'll be able to see them. Maybe I don't know if they would be end up being a quarterfinals match, perhaps against each other. So,
Ooh, yeah.
um,
I know Andrew was very well positioned in this going into this round. So, if he's
right.
first seed and Ty, is the opposite seed, maybe we'll see a rematch again. Who knows?
No, I think it's good. Okay, so we have the Stasis matchup on the left, opening up with an island and a black vice. Pretty clear what this deck is trying to do. I don't think any other decks in middle school are playing island and black vice in the same deck, are they?
Not Island and Black Vice. No, I mean this is this could be old school, right? This could be an old school match. We won't know. Basic Forest. Okay, so we're still playing old school. Let's see what day was is David going to break serve and play something more modern? Let's find out. Um,
Oh,
Birds of
Birds of
Paradise. I mean,
Paradise.
technically, no. Technically, we're still old school, everybody. All right. So
All
let's
right.
see. Stasis is technically, an old school card.
Uh,
So
just drop some mocks. We'll see. Like,
yeah, let's
oops,
let's see what happens. Okay.
wrong deck. So island follows the other island. Strong two island play with a pass. Okay,
Yep.
so we're gonna take some damage still from this black vice. Still doing a little work, but we're gonna probably empty our hand or hopefully get close to it. Close to getting under vice here. Though you gotta assume there's a counter spell, probably some days. On the other side, probably we have a some sort of impulse. Maybe is the backup card, right?
Yes, the Stasis deck is full of blue counter magic. So there's a lot of things Dustin could represent. And for a Stasis deck, turn one Black Vice is as strong as you can really get.
Yeah, because you don't
Um,
have many other turn one plays in general. You might have Portent in the deck. I don't know his build exactly, but
yep.
we're jamming on the other side. We're
All
just
right.
jamming
Counterspell
Wall of
check.
Roots into a survival counter spell check
And it
indeed.
resolves. All right. So David's saying,
Oh
hey, here's some
gosh.
modern cards. We're gonna go ahead and play
Oh
these.
gosh.
Do your
So
worst.
this tells me that perhaps we're going to see a stasis on the next turn from David. I can expect that he will play Forbidden City. Is that what it's called? Shoot.
Forsaken City, Forbidden. What are those?
Forsaken City, yes,
Yeah.
Forsaken City, to be able to continue stasising. But you have a wall of roots to activate survival, and that's pretty powerful, even if you can't really play anything
You
else.
can go grab Birds of Paradise and then play Birds of Paradise off of wall.
Yeah, yeah, and that provides a mana, right? But
Yep.
still, that'll stay. And here we see the stasis as I predicted,
Yep.
but not a Forsaken City, right?
No. So this means that Dustin is put a pause on David's untap step for now, but he still has
Yeah,
to
I
draw some
agree
more
with
cards.
chat. Does he have Quirion Ranger in his deck? If not, then I would be sad. But I would expect. Oh, here's a Rector. Okay. Uh,
We're gonna Wall of Roots and Survival. All right.
yeah,
So
and
we're
I
gonna find out right
expect to
now if
get a
there's a Quarian
Ranger,
Ranger. That's
right?
the game.
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna get a Ranger if you have one here. Um,
Can Stasis beat Quarian Ranger? I guess
Not
this
really.
Force will.
Yeah, I mean, if he resolves it, it's gonna be very difficult for Stasis to
Yeah.
win the game. So really, we want to have this occur.
We are either having
It's
trouble finding the Quarian Ranger, or there doesn't appear to be one in this list. So
so now he's in the tank. What can we get that's reasonable? What is in this? What is this deck? Survival with Rector. What is this? A combo deck for
I
what are we
believe so.
rectoring
David's been on
for?
stream before, and his deck has a recurring nightmare in it.
Oh, this is the Rec
Yes,
Survival
this is
Rector deck.
survival.
Okay,
So
so he
we're gonna
probably
go for a
doesn't have a
squee to at
Query
least get our
Ranger
engine
then.
going, but our engine's gonna run out of steam real fast. We only have so many activations on this wall of roots.
Yeah, so he
Um,
probably doesn't have Query Ranger then if this is the Rexer deck, right? But
or it's in his hand. That's the only thing I
mm,
could think of. Yeah, probably not. I
mm.
can't see Quarian Ranger being in this deck per se. We have seen Quarian Ranger on stream. Not even we've seen it in the Tilland Stompy deck, where it did pretty well. Um, but I don't know what we're going to see out of here because maybe David's got another land in hand, and maybe we can survival and play another thing. But yep, so we've got the land.
Okay.
Now, do we tap the land or do we use the wall of roots?
Uh, well, I guess we didn't squee yet, right? So
No.
maybe we just pass and try to make another land drop. Well, I mean, we need to play a recurring nightmare, right? Like the
Chat
next
says
thing we
don't
need to
tap. I
do.
think I'm inclined to agree. If I'm going to spend mana, it's
Yeah,
going to be free.
the next thing we need to do is get a recurring nightmare at this point, and resolve it. And then after that, it's somewhat elementary. Okay, here's Forsaken City.
Yep.
It looks like David has 5 cards in hand, so we can fuel our untappage for quite a while. We're gonna survival now at the end of David's turn with a squee. So what will we get off of that one?
Um, man, this is the deck that I
Uh,
kind of wish had like monk realist.
I'm saying this so Dustin's on the left. Am I right in saying that?
Dustin
I've
is on
been
the left,
saying this
correct?
wrong.
Yes.
Okay, I'm saying this wrong. Okay, so sorry, David, Dustin. Okay, I'll get it correct. So we have Dustin on the left on Stasis. Okay, yeah,
Yes. Dustin on the left with stasis. David on the right with not stasis.
there we go. Okay, we got there. So David is now searching through his deck. He activated Wall Roots. David, if you give me your address, I will send you a squee. No worries. We will community help to get your deck into middle school proper frames. That's the monk realist, yeah.
Yes. Okay, good. He does have the monk realist. So we're gonna get to we're gonna search up the monk realist. We don't currently have a way to cast it, but it is in our hand and it is big game. Now, of course, it has to resolve.
Oh, he's a Chicago guy. Okay, guys in Chicago, take care of his deck, please. Help him. Help him. No, I love all cards, all magic cards. I just I like to see him. Maybe it helps to find it, right? Perhaps
Right?
having the
You
new
get your tutor
border.
targets,
Yeah,
nice and different here.
I would accept that as an explanation.
Sure. I'm here for it.
Land War Waste is an expensive one, right? Like, it's pretty expensive, so I think
That can
that's
be.
fine. Yeah, just play what
Although
you
I feel like
got.
squeeze, like OG squeeze aren't that cheap anymore. Maybe they are.
Are they
Maybe I'm
not?
out of
Dang it!
touch.
All right, whatever,
All right, so
whatever.
we
Okay,
do have
so
the planes. All right.
okay,
Counterspell check. He didn't have it before. He's had 2 draw steps, 3
all
draw steps.
right.
Let's see. Does
He's
he have
got
the force?
5 cards. He could daze doesn't
Ooh,
do it.
snap. We have, what is that, foil?
Foil. Okay, return 3 islands. You did it.
All
You
right.
got to 3 islands and then you returned them. You guy. All right. So, we still have an active survival though. We still have squee in our
No,
hand
that's
and
thwart, not foil. Foil
thwart.
lets
Yeah.
you buy
Discard an
back.
island, discard an extra card.
Or like, yeah, let
No,
you, yeah.
foil is discard an island and an extra card to pay
Yep.
for it.
Okay, so this is thwart. See, this is where we have you guys chat. We don't play stasis. Clearly, you guys play more
Thwart.
stasis than we do.
I haven't been on all season. Woodrow's like leveled up many levels past me in his middle school knowledge this season.
Oh man. It's, of all the formats where I've seen stasis exist, I haven't seen it done better or like succeed better than in middle school.
I
It's a solid deck in middle school.
it is very solid. I played it. I built a vintage version of it. I got a league 3-2 at some point. I
Okay,
could play it a bunch of times.
that's not nothing. I'm sure half
But
the people
yeah,
didn't know what was happening.
yeah, it's fun. But you're right in that it's not very good in many other formats.
Chat saying we're doing well. Keep pretending not to understand stasis. You
Well,
got it.
I think right now he has 4 cards plus the 2 islands, so he has some time to fuel it. He's going to be drawing a few cards here or there, um, but we have some work to do, but we can get there.
So normally, I would say the way to beat stasis at this point, you expended your resources where you kind of had the edge, you got countered, and now you're really low. Like this wall of roots has one more activation right before it's dead. So I think where we are right now is normally just have some draw steps and play some land, try to play some lands, and go from there.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there is still the black vice on the table, so David doesn't have infinite time.
Right.
There is still a win
Right.
condition, so
Yeah. So he can't like he's not. Well, I don't assume that he's going to draw up to 7 and discard this Palancron.
no, we'll probably
It's gonna.
survival it. Which is
Uh,
good because so
does he
Palancron, if
not
he can
want
get it in
his
play, will
squee
untap
back? Does
himself.
he? He doesn't want his squee back, or what are we doing?
Yeah, you don't have to return it. Squee does not
Sure.
have to animate itself.
Uh, I don't know why we would not want that, but just it's a power play. Like I don't even need that right now. I'm gonna leave that in the graveyard.
Chat's
Like
saying
get
that
it.
we need a nightmare to resolve. Yes, we do need a recurring nightmare to resolve. If we can do that, then this Palancron becomes real big, real threat.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, no, I like the leaving the squee. That's power.
Yeah,
We
buys David
exiled.
some more draw steps.
We exiled our portent. So we have like a counter spell in hand, right? That we're representing or impulse. I gotta figure it's a counter spell though.
I have to assume as well. I mean,
He's still just. He's like he tapped it. He knows it's in there. He doesn't. He's like I don't need that. Huh.
Zach also gets to play Gush.
Huh.
So good.
Gosh, but that's cool. What's cool is that you have the Rector in the yard too, so you can use that to get another
Yeah,
recurring nightmare into play.
this
Second
is very
snare.
true.
Uh, David is in a bad spot. That's really just the situation.
All right. I I'm trying to remember if David's deck plays Cabal Therapy. Because if there is a Cabal Therapy, ooh, the second Black Vice. Yeah,
I
if
don't think
David's
David's in that bad of a spot. Chat's saying he's like dead. I don't think he's dead. We tapped like that so we could play the Black Vice. Fine.
yeah, double
Um,
Vice is a problem.
this is a problem. It's a problem. You get your orangutan now, right? You got one of those.
Yeah. But I think if we're
Now,
playing a 3 mana spell, it needs to be Nightmare.
yeah,
Because I think Nightmare is our path to victory.
yeah,
Because
fair.
I
We
think we
made all the
have.
land drops. We got to the point where we could be playing it. Hmm.
Chat says David needs Lotus Petals.
hmm.
You get a Lotus Petal. You get a Lotus Petal. Everyone gets a Lotus Petal. It's so funny how we think of like deck design, just kind of in general, and against
Mm-hmm.
any other deck in the format, and then you look at your deck against, something like Stasis, and then you're like, what is my deck doing? None of these cards make any sense. Why do I have
What?
these in my deck? You know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing that's going to be real back breaking is when Uh, he has several more islands. He's gonna run out of islands. Then he's gonna run out. He's gonna like chain of vapor his own stasis, and then it's just gonna be like, okay,
Yep.
cool. Like you're gonna untap now. You're gonna play it again. I'm not gonna be able to do anything. So what are we doing? We're gonna tap green to survival, so we can keep our wall of roots around.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you've got another land in hand, then we could. And we've got another land in play. Actually, we've got the city brass sitting over there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now, if we get a nightmare, we can Palancron. If we Palancron this turn, we may actually win.
Have
If
we have we is the damage correct? Is the life totals correct? I don't feel like it is, but maybe it
I
is.
think it might actually be correct. So I think David is right underneath the
Okay.
black places.
Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
look at this.
Here's here's a guy. Here's a mana making guy. Wow. Okay.
I love Veteran Explorer in this format.
We were just talking about Veteran Explorer. This is one of our mono ramp discussions that we were having in chat
Yep.
earlier, and the what is the card? Help me out. It
Cabal
is
Therapy?
no, it's a green and two, and it's a green and two, and you can search your
Oh, what
library.
else?
No, for land.
For land.
It's a spell, but you can kick
Oh.
it by sacrificing a creature, and if you kick
Oh.
it, then you get two
Oh,
lands
okay, yeah,
into play.
now it's all yes, yes, this is all sounds wonderful.
So you go from 3 to 7 on
Primal
like
Surge,
turn
Primal
three.
something, yeah.
But like if you have a lotus petal in there too, or birds or something, then you can go like better, like birds, then lotus petal, land.
Not
I don't
Primal
know.
Surge, that's a
Yeah,
completely different card.
not primal surge. Anyway, so what do we
Primal
do here?
Growth, there we go.
Primal growth. So we did therapy. We are therapying to try to clear away. We want a therapy, and then what we want to do is put our veteran explorer down and flash back the therapy and
Yep.
really brutalize the hand.
No, this is
To
perfect. This is exactly what David needs because now we can get rid of counter spells. We're going to
Right.
Gush.
Gosh. Okay. So I
Okay.
mean, this is kind of a desperation play in that it's blind, right? So if you
Yeah.
whiff and you just have impulse, you're gonna lose like some good cards
And we're
also
down
here.
island, so we can't thwart. We can only like force or
Yep.
daze right now, and daze
Exactly.
not quite good enough.
Yeah. So gush means he
Um,
didn't have those other cards, right? And
yep.
so yeah, we're looking a lot better if we are David, right?
So let's see. What do we do here? We play the Veteran Explorer off of the City of Brass. We flash it back to Cabal Therapy, get 2 more basic lands. That gives us 3 mana. Clear the way for a Nightmare. That gets back our Palancron. Untaps all the things. And then we're cooking with gas because we've got land and active
Yeah, because
survival
I
and
gotta
a
expect he has a basic
creature.
swamp in the deck, right? So when he sacks for veteran explorer, you can get forest
Yeah,
swamp,
or we could use the or we could use
or go the other way
the
with the
Wall of
with the
Roots.
wall of roots. Yeah.
Yeah.
So chain of vapor, gush, and another stasis. So that this is looking pretty good. I mean, there's nothing he can't stop us here, right? So if we have it, then
No, I mean, if we really, really care, we'll get rid of this chain of vapor just to make sure we have more time to think at
yeah,
sorcery
yeah.
speed, as
No, of
opposed.
course.
But like, yeah, no, this is a
Because yeah, when we flash back the veteran explorer, we name chain of vapor, right?
yeah. I think that's reasonable. Um, well, so okay, yeah, no, I think that should be fine because I think the only heads up play I could think of is bouncing this survival, but
Doesn't
I don't even
matter.
think that that's good enough.
Doesn't matter at this point, I don't think.
No, so we must have a
Because you
basic
have the
swamp in the deck.
Palinchron, in the yard.
Yep.
You have, and then you have Wall of Roots in play, where you could sack the Wall of Roots to get your Palinchron on taps. So yeah, you're looking pretty good.
Yep. So I like this the sequencing too by David because he has played around the bounce spell by
Hmm.
playing the Cabal there be first and then playing his Veteran Explorer.
Yep. There's the swamp. Yep.
And I'm assuming another basic forest.
Okay, so our opponent now can gush in response to our.
Two basic swamps, even better.
So I guess again we just have to kind of. And he could impulse here too, and that's kind of brutal. He can impulse and then
I guess we
gush.
want to impulse more than we want to gush because we
You
get
do
four
both.
looks at Force of Will or Thwart.
Yeah, you can impulse first and then gush.
Oh, we can do both.
Yeah,
Never mind.
you're gonna do
Magic
both.
is dumb. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna do both. And so again, we are
But notably, he's
we're
doing this. I guess, yeah, I guess you have to do this before Cabal Therapy resolves. Um, that's fine, but that does give David a chance to like nab a force. Um, and
yeah, you have to do it before therapy resolves. Yeah, because you're gonna then just lose one of your draw spells, and none of the cards you have stop what he's doing. So you're gonna do all of this first.
yeah,
Um,
but I'd
it's
almost kind of not care. I'd let him take one of them because I knew. Well, I want to cast the impulse, but I also don't want to like find the card I'm looking for and then have David just thought seize it out of my hand.
sure. I guess you can do this in response to him resolving
The nightmare. Yeah.
the nightmare.
Now this is, of course, assuming David has it, which he has to with this kind of play. Um. All
Right.
right. So Dustin could have. He's got two mystery
I mean,
cards.
if he
One could
has
be
the
force.
nightmare, then he wins. I think he must have put him on not having the nightmare, and he just wants to keep that chain of vapor. But you can
Uh.
chain of vapor the. There's no point where you can chain of vapor the recurring nightmare. So
No. Maybe. Well, not once the combo's going off. I think this first one, it happens. You can't chain a vapor it. He retains priority, and that's that.
yeah,
So as long as it resolves, we're in business. We have the Birds of Paradise to start this off. So David just has to do it. Because if he doesn't, then if he passes priority, the game is over at this point, I think. But
right.
yeah,
So
Dustin didn't
chat's
draw
saying
force, or he did, but he got.
chain on birds here, and it's pretty much if he doesn't have a counter, that's the only thing you can stop from dying this turn.
This is true.
Uh,
That is it.
oh, here he
Oh, he
goes
has
with the
the force of
force. He
will.
pitches
So,
the force. He's a handful of land. So here we see like the kind of the build up,
oh man,
uh, on David's side, is not for naught, but we are pretty much deep in the deck at this point. It's
yeah.
going to be difficult to find
He must have
cards.
drawn two forces and forced the Cabal Therapy, because I assume.
No, he did force the Cabal Therapy, and
Okay,
then he
he drew
then he
two
forced
forces.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Um,
better lucky than good, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean they're all you put the cards in the deck to draw 'em. So and he
Chat
drew 'em.
saying the wheels definitely came off there. Yeah, I think David played that perfectly.
There's
He
nothing
had
I
an
don't
end
think.
goal
Yeah,
and he sequenced it, gave himself a window, and blue deck just was blue deck. I don't think
yeah.
there's much you can do about that.
What's up, Angela? One
Lucky is
Direction,
greater than good. Absolutely. All right, so we have a land. That's and it taps for any color. That's important.
reflecting pool. Yeah,
Yeah. So we are. It, that's step one. Make more land drops.
make more land drops than the opponent. I agree. Because we're not dead. I mean, the black
Oh
vices
no,
still aren't killing us, right? So
no, and we are still a single nightmare resolving to winning the game.
yeah, yeah. How many more lands do you think we have in our deck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Ah, yeah, we got like 10 more lands in the deck,
Yeah, that should be
right?
fine. Now, notably, right, Stasis deck doing what Stasis does has kept the Stasis alive for how many turns now?
Many, many. I
So
don't know what term we're on, yeah, but this is the same one.
a minimum of 8 turns because David's got 2 extra land in play. So this Stasis deck's still real. It still has the tools. If you can get underneath it, it doesn't have too much to do to stop you. But
Stasis does nothing. It's no null rod. Let's
It
just
is
be
null.
clear.
So, okay. Can this deck beat a vigilance creature?
Zephyr Falcon. I
Zephyr.
mean,
Can it beat a Zephyr Falcon?
eventually, like it's gonna try to counter the Zephyr Falcon, I think.
Wow,
Um,
that's it, right? That's the only plan. I guess you can chain of vapor it, buy yourself a turn, and then counter it later. But
oh, my shirt? You want to know about my shirt? It's just an old timey lady on top of a cannon, being very serious. And then at the bottom it says "Serious Vintage." Seriously. So it's just one of my favorite Team Serious shirts. I don't know why I love it, but I like the color and like to wear it when doing magical things. Um, I've been trying to cat herd everyone on the team into a new shirt order. It's not been. I've gotten 7 responses, I think. So
so David curiously is going to fire off a Cabal Therapy here. Maybe to just stay under the hand count, but he's going to tap a land to do that, which is a big cost. And Dustin will respond with a gush, which just feels so completely unfair against the Stasis.
and he's showing. Yeah, Angelo had to make one. All right, here we go. Force on to the therapy. So what is going on?
What are we trying to hide? I mean, I know we know that there's another Stasis in hand, right? Because we
Yeah,
revealed it earlier.
yeah.
Um,
Like, I don't understand, but I mean, I don't know.
you know what though? I think that's really
He's
fine for
trying to
David.
just telling him, yeah, take a couple more points of damage, right? Like just you're gonna play that, um, taking a couple extra points of damage, right? He's just, I mean, maybe just edging him out at this point. Like I have 2 black vices, uh, you know, maybe I have a thwart, right? Maybe a foil. But if you have a
So
thwart in hand right now, like you just counter anything he plays, right?
yeah, I'm thinking David's about to start getting black viced. So I'm thinking, do we cash in this Cabal Therapy and target yourself and just like start taking cards out of your hand? Nope, we're gonna play a land. That's great. That's
Yeah, I mean,
perfect.
he should be taking quite a bit of damage from Black Vice at this point. I mean, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in hand. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, we're gonna tap and play. Oh, Veteran Explorer. Holy
Okay.
moly, does this
This
resolve?
is gonna get thwarted. I will almost guarantee. Like that's the position that he's been working himself back into. He's thinking
Ooh.
like, do I want 2 more lands though? Like, do I care? Like, sure, flash it back. I'll just counter the thing you're gonna try to play off those lands, right?
All right, Dustin's thinking because if this resolves, I'm snap casting this Cabal Therapy. Like I'm not
Right,
hesitating one bit.
right, for sure. So, in this case, I think he's probably gonna let it resolve. I don't know what his hand is, but the way he's been playing, it doesn't make sense to let it resolve, or to not let it resolve. I mean to say,
I mean, well, we saw Dustin used this
all the forces are
sequencing.
gone. Yeah,
All the forces are gone, so that's good. But we've seen David use this sequence of events to attempt to win the game.
right.
So we either counter this or we save it for like the actual nightmare. I think I want to save it for the nightmare.
Okay, so
Did we
he
just
just
pass the turn?
passed.
Okay, I don't
Uh,
understand what's happening
I don't either.
because Nat can be chain of vapored.
I don't either. I don't know. I mean, he must not have had the win, right? Like you have to make 3 mana there. So he's just like, I'm
Well,
not
but
gonna
you
do
can
it.
still shuffle your deck, take 2 land out, and
Mm,
then potentially have a third for the nightmare. I don't know. All right, well, we're gonna get an attack in. Bring it on the board. Get to
nice, nice.
get Dustin to 18.
There's a plains. Okay, cool.
Okay,
Maybe
now
there's no
we
more
have.
swamps in the deck. There's no more swamps in the deck, right?
That's a problem.
How many more basics are there?
Yeah, he got 2 swamps last time, and that was maybe ambitious. Because now this guy is not going to untap.
Yep.
All right, David's going to take some damage now. Maybe we don't have enough basics anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Probably if you drew that plains and was sad.
Chat says we should make bingo cards for top 4. What would be on your bingo cards?
Put that on the bingo card with moving a feeder counter. Yeah.
Yes, moving a feeder counter to get Wall of Roots mana. All right, David is at 8 allegedly, unless he needs to update life totals one more time. I think he's a turn or 2 away. We're gonna cash this in for mana now. All right,
Okay.
so we can
Let's try it.
cast spells.
Let me try. We get the land regardless, right? We get it regardless. So then we're gonna do the
basic swamp. Basic swamp. Come on, he can't have more than 2 in the deck. Oh, he does.
Yeah!
He does. Okay, come on, have a land in hand. We have 3 land. We have a plains, a swamp, a forest. Okay.
I'm interested to know the deck sizes at this point because if we can, I don't know if it's possible to stay under the vice, without just by continuing to play out your lands. I think he's close to having all the lands in his deck out.
All the fetchable ones, yeah, I can imagine. One of the things that so when I play Veteran Explorer, I'm playing the Rock, and one of the things I like to do is just rotate Veteran Explorers with a Nightmare, and it's just like pay 1 mana, just tutor out your lands, and I just like take all the lands out of my deck, and then everything left in my deck is gas.
Then it's all gas, baby.
So it's definitely possible.
That's what I'm saying. But what I was saying more was just on the decking plan. He's gushed a bunch of times. Our opponent has. And if we just continue to play our lands and spells,
yeah, if we can, I mean, we're at 8, which
are we gonna win?
With 2 black vices out, it's really hard. I think Dustin's got at least 10 cards left in his library, which is more than I think David has turns.
Fair. Okay.
If I had to guess,
here is a foil, which he pitched. You exile a card to that Stasis.
Yeah. All right, so that's gonna counter that, but then we can still play something. Are we?
Foil MTG. I think that you don't. Yeah, you discard that. That card is not exiled. I don't think it'll matter.
Did we target ourselves? Oh, we did target ourselves because we don't have anything. Wait. Okay. So if we cast foil, why is Cabal Therapy resolving?
I don't know.
I'm confused at what happened. Chat, what did I miss? Tell me. But yeah, David was going ahead to unless we played. Oh, maybe he played that spell. Yeah, because he tapped his land. All right, what did he cast? Now he's casting. Okay, so he's casting. Chat saying they're too busy talking and they missed it too.
Yeah.
We're casting the library to get cards out of our hand.
Well, what's the card in his library, in his graveyard? What's that card in his graveyard?
It's a black card. I don't know what it is. And I'm actually really curious. It looks like a signed card, so it's something he's gotten from somewhere. Bone Shredder? Chat says it's Bone Shredder. That could be a Bone Shredder.
Okay.
I don't know why it's there, but all right, we're going to pack it up. We didn't see what we needed. Wow, all right. Well, Stasis is going to get game 1 here. I can't tell if that was convincingly or barely. Like it always feels just close enough.
Yeah, I feel like that game probably was closer than it seemed. I don't. I think it was
I
very
think so too.
close to a loss for the Stasis deck. When Stasis wins, it's easy to say, "Oh, it's such a good deck," or "It's so OP," But I think that was he very much was holding on there for most of the game, even though he had active Stasis.
There were a number of times where we got to see his hand from the Cabal therapies on Dustin's or David's side, and we didn't see anything worth writing home about, right? I
No, I
mean,
mean it's all standard stuff, but but it has to come together, right?
yep,
And I think again he's very close. I mean he played it well, I think. So we questioned some of the counters that got fired off there, but it ended up working out. So obviously we're not master stasis players, right?
right,
Um, I think in some of those situations, there is some feel, where you have to have the heart of the cards when you decide as a stasis player what you're going to counter, because you
sure.
can't counter everything, and it's difficult if you don't have the black vice, for example, to add pressure. They can just keep playing lands and not playing a spell, and then build up to a turn when they can play multiples, right?
So I'm gonna
So,
send you actually the list because I want you to talk about this. 'Cause I do have the list for David here. Actually,
okay.
let me
Let me
get
get
that
it
to you
here.
here in a second. Because there are some cards that he has that he can bring in here. There you are. There we go. Look at that teamwork.
Boom. Okay.
Um, so there's a number of different things that he can bring in that I think he wants to interact with this deck. He's got a number of duress. He's got a deed, some Steel cleansings. I think that those are good. What is this Temple Acolyte? That can't. It doesn't interact with enchantments, does it? No,
It
that's
gains
got like protection
life.
from something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pro red. Uh.
yeah, it's pro red.
So. So
It's a fiend
yeah, I
type.
think. I think that. I think you want to go with the deed. I think you want the two seals.
Yep.
After that, I don't know. I don't know what else you're gonna benefit from except duress, maybe.
I like duress if I'm on the play
Yeah.
for certain. Just any opportunity to get to like turn 3 without stasis hitting the field. Um,
Yeah.
I think that that's fine. Take out some of this counter magic. I think duress into Cabal therapy is absolutely worthwhile against this deck. And there's a number of cards I think in David's deck that he doesn't need. Like there's a worship. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah. I think
technically worship beats black
Stasis, Black
black
Vice,
vice.
yeah. Technically, I think the path to victory here is really going to be, uh, you know, getting your Acroma into play
Sure.
somehow.
Yeah, that's a
I mean,
very
that's
very solid card.
so.
Um,
Unfortunately, like you have to basically have played Survival and Recurring Nightmare to do that,
yeah, you have
right?
to be doing your thing. There's a
Uh,
Collar of the Claw in David's deck that is not good in this matchup at all. He can take that out. That's a
yeah,
good target.
um,
Notably,
yeah,
there's only 2 recurring nightmares in this deck, so like the path to victory really is our rectors, our academy
yeah,
rectors here. We're going to survival into those things.
yeah, man. This
Don't need
is
bone
not
shredders. We can take those out. Now, taking out creatures does have a risk because it does dilute your survival ability. Now
okay.
you only need 1 to grab squee, and that can be good enough. But
Yeah, I think if we can lead with duress, like you described, then even into a cabal therapy, like really rip his hand apart would be awesome.
yep,
And just hope that he doesn't top deck a gush or something. But if I'm David, I really wanna do the thing, like get some duress, get some therapy, Des
definitely.
Fiend, and then go to work.
Well, we'll see. I'm not sure what's in a stasis sideboard other than more blue cards. I don't know what blue cards you'd want to
I
bring
love
in.
this opening, right? We love
Oh,
this
this is
opening of
great.
Forest Birds. And no response. I mean, you don't expect any force on that, but we go turn one Black Vice again. Okay. So I'm interested to know how many he plays total. I personally think like I mean, it seems like his deck's pretty tuned. He's doing the thing here, so I'm not going to argue, but I think that playing too many Black Vices means you have to, play less counter spells, right? So, uh,
I don't
here
think I have the
is,
stones to play less than 3 because I
yeah,
don't know if I have the patience to like wait to get to them.
here's the duress that we talked about, right?
Sure.
I think, yeah, I tend to agree with you. It can be very, you know, you need to have some stamina to be able to do that, to continue and plan that you're going to deck your opponent, and just Black Vice is a backup plan, right?
Yep.
uh, so here's a duress. We see impulse, we see chain of vapor, we see stasis, we see counterspell. What do we take?
Okay. So if I only have this one duress, I think I'm taking the stasis just to make sure it doesn't come down because he's got the city.
Yep.
Um, if I've got like Vetter Explorer and Cabal Therapy in hand, I'm probably taking Counterspell, and
Yep.
then I'm gonna Cabal Therapy away the stasis, and then I'm gonna activate, or I'll take away the impulse, and then I'll
Right.
sack the Veteran Explorer to get rid of the stasis.
Just
But that
rip
would
it
be the
all
absolute
to
nuts.
shreds. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you want to get the impulse, you want to get the stasis. If you have a therapy, you can get three total cards. You leave him just with the chain of vapor and just,
Yep.
good luck.
So having seen the beating of last game, I would love to see the nuts because
Yeah, I
who
would.
wouldn't?
I would hope. He has four therapy in the deck. It's not going to be unheard of.
Right.
Here's a black source. So,
Okay.
oh, Mezfiend. Let's have a Mezfiend. Oh,
That's fine.
survival.
Nope. Survival's
Great.
fine.
You can't do anything. Survival's clear. So Duress did the job, right? This is
Yes.
this is what Duress is there for, and it worked.
And we can play
Uh,
around what's there. I mean, Dustin's response may be to bounce it and then leave up counterspell for it to come back, but
right.
David's gonna get to untap, and that might be enough damage to do the job,
Yeah, if
right?
he doesn't chain of vapor it now, ooh, like I don't know. I mean, I don't know what his other card
Can
is,
you
but
imagine if David already has the Chroma in hand? He can discard it, grab something relevant, and then survival gets bounced, and then he just plays survival into the counterspell, and then can then play nightmare and win the game.
it would be great to see. I think he's in a really good spot. I think he's in a good spot. Chain, Impulse, Citadel. Yeah, he has an impulse. He has a chain of vapor and a counter spell.
Yeah, and
That's
he can
the
also
arena counter
what
spell.
survival for Monk Realist now, just to get
Yeah,
one in his hand.
realist or orangutan, both.
Sure.
Orangutan is what he needs for the artifact, right?
Yes. I mean, we probably are on the grab squee first plan because that is their engine, and if we don't cast any spells, David gets to cast Impulse here, which could end up with another stasis. But there's
Yeah, yeah.
there's not as many resources on Dustin's side as I think. I don't think he can actually play stasis just yet. Okay,
Interesting.
so David's gonna pitch this orangutan, not
He has to
valuing
get
it.
the squee, like you said. I mean, he may not have many other creatures to work with, so it's just,
Yeah,
hey, uh, wait, the Browns won. Oh, there you go.
Browns won.
Uh,
Who are they playing?
someone somehow worse than the Browns.
Well, there you go. Congratulations, Browns. Chat says Browns. Browns narrowly avoid defeat. Cool. Congrats to Kyle and company, says chat.
All
I didn't know you played for the
right,
Browns.
so we are discarding our squee to survival. So we got the orangutan to get a squee. We squeed away. We surround away a squee, and we're gonna get a what?
I want to know why we're doing this now. We need to be. If we're not playing the creature that we're grabbing with this now, then I don't know why we're not doing this at the end step. Because I don't want to. I don't want to encourage Dustin to just untap and play Stasis.
Right.
I want to have my mana available so I can. I get to choose when I'm locked out. But
It's
if David
fair.
has a plan, if David wants to actually cast a creature, then it's fine. If he has a land drop and then like can play this wall of roots, like that'd be cool.
Here's
Or
the
grab a
Mesfiend.
mesmeric
So
fiend.
maybe
Okay.
maybe he has the land drop. So here also I would say it's kind of like, you know, the cards that he has in his hand aren't awesome, right? He doesn't have a gush. Impulse is the best card in his hand right now.
Yep.
And
So we'll
this
take a
eating a
pain.
counter
We are going
spell
to
is
cast
totally
this.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
This
This
is
is
fine.
like,
I'm
yes,
okay with this. This makes sense. We're being proactive here.
one more
And
turn off of the impulse, right?
yep.
So yeah, no, I like that. And then you have Squee Engine going for the next turn.
Yeah.
So you had to go down on the orangutan, but you're under vice, and you say, okay, counter it or give me your impulse, right?
So if I'm Dustin here and I don't have stasis in my hand, I think I have to counterspell this. If I do have stasis, I think I absolutely counterspell this.
Chain of Vapor on the survival in response to the Mezfiend. Okay, that seems reasonable.
Okay,
Uh,
that is.
then our unknown card must be something. Okay, then take
Oh,
impulse.
double counterspell. Okay, so
It's fine. You just take impulse. Like that's such
yeah,
such a great position to be in
that's
because
fine.
you only have one land. If you keep drawing lands, cool, but you're not going to cast the impulse and then
Yeah,
you're going to just have couple counter spells and you're not going to be able to play them if you draw a stasis, right? So
right.
like fine. And
Yeah,
we're
no,
attacking. We're
this
attacking
is
for one a turn now. We got a clock.
well, and even then, like if we have like nightmare in hand and draw mana source, then we can bait a counterspell and resolve the enchantment that we want.
Yeah, I'm loving this. And
Yep.
this is, I think, a situation where in the last game it was really close, and Stasis held on. And in this game, I feel like Stasis is in a bad spot. He needs a really nice top deck. Oh gosh, therapy into the known double counter spell is
I
so
mean, what
beautiful.
we
I
have to
mean,
counterspell this and
you're
at
gonna get
least
both though. You get both.
yeah, but we get
I
to at
mean,
least make him sack of birds to this. I don't think we give him the impulse
yeah.
back.
No, 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 and you don't have to get the other counter spell. You can wait. It
Oh,
doesn't
this is true.
matter. You can't play the other counter spell right now. So,
That
and if
was
he
so
somehow
good.
has a force, then cool. You have no cards now. Awesome. And I'm still attacking you for one a turn. Like
Chat asking where the chain is. Chain responded to the mesmeric fiend by bouncing
bouncing
the survival
survival.
to
Yeah,
hand. So
we did see that, chat. I
we
think they were
did.
just testing us to see if we had seen. Did you guys see what happened? Yeah, we saw what happened, chat. And so now we have a resolved survival. We still have two cards in our opponent's hand. We have Squee in our hand. We're gonna Squee and get something like birds maybe. I might do that if I were just to protect against the top deck stasis here. Um,
Yeah. If my opponent isn't casting stasis at end of turn, I'm gonna grab a wall of roots.
okay,
Just to
so we have mana and we can keep activating. Yeah,
yeah, I mean Dustin's shields are pretty much down. He's got a counter spell, and he's not gonna spend on the wall of roots and leave himself with actual nothing.
right. Yeah, I played Stasis. That's why I said like I think it's a good deck. Definitely if Elves is very popular, it's like not a great choice. If there's going to be a lot of Elves decks or
Yeah. Yeah, end
Queried
of turn, I
Ranger
like this.
decks.
Like you're pitching Squee to grab a combo piece and pitching the combo piece in the yard where you want it to grab the card you actually want to cast, like the Wall of Roots.
Yeah.
David may have a
Heads
better
up.
idea
Yeah.
than Wall of Roots, but
No, I think that's probably correct unless you have something like a chroma, right?
I mean, we could grab a veteran explorer. We do have a therapy in the yard, or we could grab the rector, which will get counterspelled. But or we could grab another mesmeric
Then it'll
fiend
be in the yard,
theoretically.
though. Then it'll be him having two cards makes it like pretty slim that whatever we're gonna do is not gonna work. You know, like you say, here's Rector. Yeah, so that you picked it. So probably survival that away on his own turn, or he could cast it with a bird. So he could cast it into a counter spell and still survival for the next thing. So I think
Yeah,
that's great. I think
we
that's
get a
great.
squee back.
Still, notably, we're under Vice. We're draw up to 4 at this point, I believe.
Now, what if
Yes.
David has another Cabal therapy in hand?
Oh man, so much, so much therapy. He's on the
Can you
couch,
imagine?
putting Dustin on the couch. Dr. Katz. That's a good show. All right, so we tap a green. What are we
Yep.
gonna do? We're gonna play another bird, or here's our veteran explorer that we had. Natty drew maybe.
I think he's thinking about survivaling. I think he's gonna
Giant
pitch.
stasis are expensive. Yeah. He's gonna survival away the squee to get. He has another Mezfiend in the deck, right? He has two Mezfiends. Just get another Mezfiend. No,
I think getting
no,
another
just go for
Mesfiend
the
is just fine.
go for the Rector. Go for the
Um,
Rector. He's just
Apparently
go
David
for the
just wants
Rector.
to eat the counterspell this way.
Eat the counterspell that way. Then you get the Mezfiend the next turn, right? For the unknown card. Bird, okay. I like it. Then
All right. Well, that's not another
survival
Cabal therapy.
away. Survival away. The squee. No.
So chat wants to
Actually.
know how expensive is a signed stasis.
It depends on the edition, I would say. So
Um,
squee goes down. What do we get here? Revised ones are like, I don't know, a couple $100.
if I'm pitching Squee, yeah, I'm getting the Ven Explorer because I can use this to cast Cabal. I can play this, recast Cabal therapy, get two
Have some
lands,
more
and also
lands.
still
Yeah.
cast the Rector. Now Rector, I don't have
Yeah.
another Cabal therapy for, but
Okay. He counters it. And what if
oh,
his card was Gush? His card is Gush. Then I'm just like, okay. So he countered the Veteran Explorer. So we have one unknown card in our opponent's hand. So we're going to make a land drop, attack for one. Cool. And what? We're good.
oh
We
man, I don't know if I would
we
have
wait to
countered that
squee.
because now well, I don't know what's in Dustin's hand, but now David has the Cabal therapy in the yard and also has the Rector in hand. And Dustin has a card, a single card. This has got to be an expensive,
Yeah.
like a 4 mana counter spell. That's the only thing I can think of.
It's force. Yeah, it's force of will. That's why he would have played a land there.
Okay. It could have been like foil or thwart, but
Yeah,
yeah, I think
maybe,
this is just one of the
but
expensive
I
counter
guess
spells.
who cares about the city? Yeah, yeah.
Right. I think this is just an expensive counter spell, and I think now is when you go for the mesmeric fiend. The mesmeric yes. What are we
This is
tapping? Are
Rector.
we gonna just cast this? No. We can't just cast it into this. Do we only have one fiend?
Rector. No, I think it's fine. If this card is a counter spell, we still have squee. We do it again the next turn.
That's true. This is true. All right, well, um this is the version of the game where Stasis has its cards but just gets disrupted immediately. All right, so we're going to float
Gush.
2 and
Okay,
gush.
there was a gush. He's finally found a draw spell.
You called it. Wow.
Uh, I mean, he had to have one at some point. He was really lucky not being able to impulse. So he cast the impulse now. gosh, this is not great. Um, we can whiff still, and even if we have two islands, we have one card, so we have force blue card. Yeah, what do we have? But again, even if it's that, that's not bad. We go again next turn. We squee again. Great counterspell. Okay, if that one card is stasis, that's not great. But
Well, if that one card is stasis, we're gonna get rid of it this turn because we're gonna cycle. Go grab a veteran explorer. Oh snap!
that's great. That's great. So
Oh
now
snap!
we've
Never
cleared the
mind.
way, and we have action, further action, and we are heavily favored now.
See,
It's
I
going to be
was just
very
going to go
difficult
ahead
for us
and
to lose.
tutor up another veteran explorer, cast in this therapy, and then like, I mean, that's not. I guess that's not
Now he's
really what I
just
want
like,
to do.
out city of
Yeah,
brass, city
yeah.
of ass. I'll take a damage.
No,
So
this is
yeah,
fine.
we are cruising. We're in cruise mode now. Um, what cards do we have to draw? We have a wall of roots or a wall of we're just gonna rector. We have
Yeah,
another
we'll
therapy.
just
We have
grab. Yeah,
another
we still have
therapy.
therapy in the yard. David's
Brilliant,
got a steal a cleansing, so like shields, we can afford to tap all of our mana now.
brilliant,
Dustin has no card engine, no card draw engine now because he doesn't have infinite turns.
brilliant.
Um, yeah, now David can actually just win with his creatures. I think at this point, his one mesmeric fiend I think is enough.
Yeah, I think you go rector here, flash it back to get your recurring nightmare, right? And
If
then
there is no, if this doesn't get countered, it doesn't. Okay,
well, the sack is part of
the
the
game's over.
cost, right?
Yeah.
So you can't
Well,
counter the sacrifice.
but you can when it resolves the second time when you cast it from your hand, you can counter it. So now I think the game is over. I think it's deterministic.
Right.
With a creature in hand and Palancron in the field, I believe it is deterministic.
He can Palinchron. What do we want to do? We want to get a chroma here, or
No,
we can get Wall of
we'll
Roots
get
and draw the
Palancron.
deck.
So David's done this before, where this is a win. He will get
Okay.
Palancron, essentially make infinite mana, and iterate this a few times.
Okay.
Um, I think he technically might need one more mana to do it
Oh, but
infinite.
since is that Rector should be exiled though? Yes.
Yeah, there's one Rector that isn't because it was
Oh,
countered.
okay. So that helps him execute the combo faster, I think, right?
Yeah. So David's combo is he'll get infinite mana and then he can search his deck for Spike Feeder, and then he can essentially cycle infinite times and then put all of the counters from Spike Feeder onto a Chroma,
Okay.
and then have infinite
Uh,
damage.
then attack that turn. Okay.
Now he has to navigate this with City Brass, which is a bit more complicated because City Brass will deal damage to him. So he
He has
does.
no black source that doesn't deal him damage
Right. It's
except
not
the
a loop yet, but
birds.
we do
Oh,
have the
now he
Veteran
is Veteran
Explorer.
Explorer. So yeah, I think he can demonstrate it now.
Yeah, he's gonna
Uh,
get. He'll have enough resources in life total to get out of it.
Yeah. So this is very nice. We get to see a game three, and hopefully, again, I can't root against Stasis too bad. Again, it seems so strong when it does its thing, but it's really not. It's really a glass cannon, and you really have to be paying attention the whole time as the Stasis pilot. And of
Yep.
course, one small mistake or one countering the wrong thing, is gonna put you in a bad spot. So again, it's easy to hate on when it's doing well and firing on all the cylinders, but you know, uh, it is very much you have to cobble it together.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen Stasis. Like this is the best I've seen Stasis be, and it's still cobbled together. You know, in that sense. So
Yeah, yeah. So he's right now, chat. He's explaining what he's gonna do. He's demonstrating the loop to show that he can make infinite mana, and that he's going to, at the end of that, squee for a chroma, and then squee for spike feeder. Then he's gonna play the spike feeder. He's going to then swap, and he just explained this whole thing. So to finish that explanation, as Rob said earlier, he's going to then swap the Acroma into play. use the infinite mana to move all the 1/1 counters onto the spike feeder, and then he will attack with a Chroma Hasty and kill. Did I get that right, Rob?
Yes.
Okay.
That is what happens. And it was fun the first time David did it on camera. We were just like, oh, we just get a chroma and like, have to survive 3 turns while we
And
beat
he's like,
face with a
nah,
chroma.
nah, nah, we're not doing that.
And we're like, what's happening? What's spike feeder have to do with any of this? And then suddenly it was just like, oh, we're like, he's dead. This is cool. Cool. So we're gonna get to game 3, which is going to be good. I think it's a fun mental exercise at least once. I don't know about the second time, but at least once to play against Stasis with your deck,
Yeah.
just to kind of see what kind of flexibility does my deck actually have with these sorts of stuff.
That's another reason why I would say Stasis is actually difficult to play, because you're going to not very often get people to test with you. So if you don't have like an
Yep.
innate kind of sense of the format and like what to do, you're not going to ever get better with the deck, because no one's going to be patient enough to play with you and test.
Very true. Very true. So we saw that game. What was that? Turn 1 duress is what really did the whole thing.
Yep, and he immediately goes down to 6 cards. Yes,
Yep.
are we on 6 already? So that may be he's just saying like the only way I can win this game is I need to be able to duress on my turn 1, especially on the draw, right? Because he may have days. Uh, so
Yep.
it's like not great.
If
Not
I'm
great.
David, I don't think I can keep a hand without turn 1 cabal therapy or duress. I think, or turn 1 dork into like
Yeah,
mana.
I guess after 6, on 5 you have to just keep mana dork. But I think on you're going to 6 to find that 1 mana black spell,
Yep.
to kind of try to keep things in check if possible. And it's still going to be tough because, if we see island plus days, then oh man, Bruce told him to look at those cards, and he looked. Maybe he didn't actually look, but now we're going to 5. So, like you said, this is a
Oh man.
dork. This is a dork hand. If we don't see duress, we probably just keep a turn 1 mono dork hand. Um, Hopefully, we see duress and a bunch of other baller cards too.
I mean, I'm trying to like. Is Stasis the villain here?
I mean, in general, Stasis is going to be the villain. Like I said, I'm not a sympathizer, but I'm just trying to make clear, that Stasis is not like the clear favorite in my mind.
It's one of those things that like the first few times I see it, I'm always rooting for Stasis because I don't see it enough, and it's always so difficult to pull off that I just kind of want to see it happen once. But now I've seen it
Right,
happen in middle school several times, and it's good middle school if you know what you're doing.
right.
And so now I think it's back into villain category
That's fair.
for
I
me.
think I think again, I think good players are gonna look for the good control decks. And what's good about Stasis, honestly, is if you dislike Landstill, guess which deck wins in that matchup, right? Stasis wins, right? So Stasis should win the Landstill matchup in
Yeah, I
general.
guess it all depends on who the opponent is, right? So normally Landstill's the villain, so yeah, that can make Stasis our hero real fast. That reminds me, there was a
I
legacy
think we're on a
GP.
multi-4. Yeah, I
Oh
think I think
no.
the game is over at this point. We're on a multi-4. I'm almost positive. Uh, I think he's saying I'm gonna keep 4. I hope we're keeping 4. At Wow. Okay. Well, the game might be over before it starts, and you hate to see it, but you know, it is it is what it is. Uh, but anything can happen, also, right?
Anything can happen. David will certainly get a lot of draw steps, if things go wrong. So we'll see. Um, Speaking of heroes and villains, there was a legacy GP where I suited up Reanimator, and that definitely made me
Are
the
we on
villain.
5? We were
We're on
only on
5.
5. Okay.
5's better than 4. That's good. And he's
Yep.
on the draw. But yeah, so there's this legacy GP. I'm playing Reanimator. I'm the villain. Managed to win my first 2 rounds, killing all the good guys. And round 3, I'm playing against Oops All Spells, and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm the hero now, uh, and
Fair.
got
I
my Oops
I
opponent to
didn't
miss.
know. I don't play Legacy, but I thought Delver was the villain. I thought that was the deck
Delver's
that
is
sucks.
like the villain we know, is like the
Okay.
evil we know, just because it's what everyone does if they want to like be good. Um, but like cheating big guys into play is sweet, but people are like, oh no, Grizzlebrand,
Wow.
that's not fair magic.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about this. Uh, let's talk about what we're seeing here.
Whoa.
The cards that I did not know were in the deck, right? Did you know that these two cards on the right were in the deck?
That Stifle? No.
Yeah.
Did he board into Stifle Knot? Wouldn't that be a joke? Wouldn't that be
Oh my
hilarious?
gosh. So we have thwart, thwart, stifle, stifle. My gosh. Uh, we have three islands in play. On the other side, we have a brushland, pumpkin land, and a land of war waste. Those both get tapped, and what are we going to do with those two tapped lands? We're going to play a survival. Very nice. So we're baiting out the thwart. Stifle notably will stop a survival activation.
It will. It's not
So
a scalable solution, but it certainly will tempo.
well, this is very interesting. Thwart gets fired off. We reset back to 0 lands. That means that probably we didn't have much else we could do.
Can you imagine
So,
if we had a black source and a cabal therapy after this?
you know, man,
I don't even know if that'd
and
be
the thing,
good. Do I even want to like take these stifles?
well, again, I mean, yes, probably. I mean, like you said, there's probably now some sort of now here it comes. Oh, there's the vice. Okay,
Oh my
like
goodness.
next turn will be island dreadnought stifle go. Uh,
Stifle does notably stop the Veteran Explorer, which David has used to great effect against Stasis. So
yep,
I could see
that's
Dustin
true.
taking out bad cards to bring in these.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't. The deck is so tight, in my
It
opinion. The
also stops
stasis deck.
Rector.
Sure.
It stops Nightmare.
Okay.
So like, I just accidentally
I'm,
named it stops Palancron.
yeah,
I just named
I'm
half
good.
the deck that matters. So maybe
Um,
this is actually like big brain.
Again, I mean, he has shown that he knows more about his deck than we do.
I mean, if the deck wants a bunch of cheap interaction that's either free or costs 1 mana, it makes I can see it making sense in my head. I don't. You're right. I mean, like on paper, stifling those things doesn't really matter that much,
And
right?
now we're just in beatdown mode. We
Yeah,
have
we have a
we
two-two.
have we have a 2/2. Now we have a
Three
1/1.
power. Ooh, that's
That is a nice clock. That's a nice boulder. Um, there's now there's a recurring nightmare. We just jam it, baby. So this is
uh
gonna make you can't. There's nothing to bring back. Okay.
no, but we can activate this at any time. If we can put the
Right.
feeder into the graveyard at any time. So
Yeah.
if we need
Yeah.
mana, we can get mana whenever we need.
Yeah.
Stifle permitting.
Yeah. 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 You can't.
um,
You
but three
can't
power against no stasis is a. David doesn't even have to do anything at this point.
just attack.
He he can just like make sure he makes his land drops, not tap his land, and then just like three power is enough to win the game.
Yeah. I like it. Let's do it. Just get aggro.
And then Dustin has to make sure he leaves up. He still has thwart, so he has thwart mana against something happening theoretically. But if he
Yeah.
doesn't get a land drop, he's going to play stasis and only have one land ready to go, which is not enough. Now, of course, assuming once we get the
He'll
explorer
have to do
triggers,
the
but
yeah. He'll have to like somehow stifle something and
all right, there's a land drop.
foil
What's
it.
the CMC on thwart? Want to hard cast that?
Four,
Or
four.
all right, so we can actually just cast thwart now.
All right. Yes, let's bash it. Bash it, baby.
But
Stifle is good. See, we're positing that, chat, but maybe he just has stifle for value, right? Like that just puts off a turn from dying, right? So if it's unknown, you know, then your opponent, just goes for it, and then oops, you don't get your recurring nightmare trigger, so perhaps it's just for value. I think more often you see the stasis deck side into morphling, because you have all this blue mana that you can do stuff with, right? And you have a bunch of counter spells, so you land a morphling that's pretty much unkillable, and then you back it
yeah,
up with a bunch of counter spells, and then you're
alternate
swinging
win
for
condition, sure.
five. So you're swinging for five in the air. You can make it a 5/1, right?
Yep.
So yeah, it's a pretty quick clock. So I would doubt that he's going to go into the full dreadnought mode, but maybe that's his spice this time around.
We have seen some players bring some transformative sideboards to this league. Notably, we had a match on camera where we noted some very spicy sideboard plan. It was unfortunately never seen on camera, and I think the player says it was bad, but it looks cool on paper. He boards into 15 slivers and turns into slivers.
Yeah, baby.
So, turning into
Okay.
Dreadnought seems like a step
Here's
above that.
therapy. Here's therapy. It's
Okay.
coming from the hand. So we're going to get to cash it in again if we want. If we don't counter this, then we won't have the opportunity to stifle the Veteran Explorer trigger. There's so much
Yep.
going on. So Impulse gets fired off. Stasis is looking for something that's not going to make him pick up 3 lands, I think is the idea here.
I mean,
Let's
if
not
you're
have.
Dustin, wouldn't you just like cast Thwart the first half of Thwart? I mean, no, because then you can't Impulse, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I was
But
saying. So then you're gonna get therapied on the flashback, right? So counterspell gets fired off, and you still have the ability to thwart through this, right? Um, do what do we do? And again, stifle can still hit the veteran explorer trigger here. So again, I
um,
think I don't know, just pass and start
yeah,
attacking
I'm
again
not
next
inclined
turn.
to cash in my 3 power here.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna keep 3 power here forever.
Yeah, no reason to. I think at this point we're on a 3-turn clock. No
Um,
stasis is in sight. We have 2 unknown cards. I like my chances.
if I really wanted to get like super aggressive here, I'd put my +1/+1 counters on this Veteran Explorer and then cash in this Wall of Roots to bring it back. Have 5 power on the board. I mean, that's really aggressive, especially against 2 stifles. So,
Yeah, but like again, then you maybe you want to uh, gain life or move. Yeah, you can move 2 counters. Then you recurring nightmare. You just make him cash in a stifle if he has it, right? And
yep.
then unfortunately, though, then you have the possibility of getting countered on the way back down, right? Uh, we don't want that probably. I think. Oh, Gush. Okay, so Gush gets fired off. It looks like at the end of the turn, end of the opponent's turn. We draw 2. Now we're gonna have 2 more unknowns, so 3 total unknowns. So 2 islands, thwart, stifle, and 3 unknowns are in hand. And we're gonna draw for turn as well. Oh no, is this all on his main phase? No. Yeah? Okay, he
Yeah,
did
that's all
draw
main
already.
phase. Interesting.
No, he drew already. I just missed
Oh,
that
okay.
extra unknown.
So if we are able to drop a stasis here,
But that was a mistake. He played the island out of the unknown cards.
oh, that is a mistake. Yes.
So just again, this is that stasis stamina that I was saying about. Like that probably doesn't lose him the game, but it might. So yeah, we still have not seen a stasis get dropped. Attacking in for 3 is brilliant. Our plan is working of reducing our opponent's life total to 0.
Yeah,
Uh,
just 3 power aggro. We don't. We drew the best creature in the deck that we can cast, which is this 2/2.
2/2. Yeah,
And we paired it
it's
with a
the
1/1. And 3 power,
here's
that's 7
another
turns.
another therapy
Oh
coming
my
out of the hand.
gosh.
So just now again, like forcing you to make a move. Do you want to pick up 3 islands? Sure, do that. Do you want to, you know, show me what else you got?
I
Show me
can't
what else
think
you
picking
got.
up 4 islands is the path, or 3 islands back to victory. I think we just have to hardcast the thwart and let him sacrifice a resource to do
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that's where he went. That's where he went.
because if you want to sacrifice this wall of roots, that's fine. It doesn't even have any
But you
counters
can't
on there.
stifle
It
now.
hasn't
You
done
can't
anything.
stifle now. So you could go for the
Right.
recurring nightmare.
You
You
could.
could move. You could move the counters now, and then you could replay recurring nightmare now, right? Unless he has force, and that's what he was trying to show or get him to, get him into. But even with that, I'm still dead pretty much. Like, so that doesn't
Yep.
do much. Yeah, I counted recurring nightmare. I'm still dead in 2 turns.
Hmm.
Survival Rexer is looking good here.
Like,
Um,
it's funny because like David's put himself in a good position to like really cast these therapies and rip apart the hand. But I almost don't even want to. I just want to keep my creatures on the battlefield. I mean, I'll cast on this
yeah,
wall of roots, but like that's
no,
kind of
he
all I'm
doesn't
interested
need.
in.
He still doesn't need. Yeah, he doesn't need to at all. Stasis. If a stasis, if he suspects stasis, in the hand, then he could go for it. But uh, even with that, you have ways to get your creatures back untapped, right? With the recurring nightmare.
I think he's thinking about putting a counter onto his creature and gaining life and just bringing it back for an extra point of damage. I don't think it changes the clock right now. It's still a 2 turn clock, and I don't think there's another way to get both count. Oh no, we can actually change it to
You can
6
put
power
both.
because we
Yeah, we
can
can
use the
put
wall of roots
both.
for mana. Okay, so that does change the clock. I think that that's totally worth it. It doesn't give your opponent. We only get punished if our opponent has exactly.
Force of will or
No, it doesn't because
another
we don't. We're
thwart.
not actually casting spells. We get punished if they have Chain of Vapor to bounce our Veteran Explorer because we can put 2 counters onto the Veteran Explorer. It's 3 power, and then bring back. Oh no, we're still 1 power short.
Yeah,
So never
yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Nope. I thought we had 6 power for a second.
Stasis
So
deck needs stasis. Yes, Angelo. Stasis. Well, again, this is where again, like it's easy to hate on the deck, but it's showing up here that it doesn't always have all the cards it needs every game, right? It does lose.
well, and back in the day too, Mono Blue Control was a real deck. So if you think of like half of your deck is Mono Blue Control, that may be good enough sometimes to just get to the part of your deck that wins the game. So
So here we are flashing back Cabal Therapy with that wall of roots, as you suggested.
yeah,
We're gonna name Stasis, right?
yep. I well,
Or you name thwart or force or foil. Like he has a bunch of free spells still, so that's why I feel like Stasis is the right name to make sure that we're still going to be able to attack and finish this game
I
out with
think he would have played
creatures, right?
Stasis if he had it last turn, just
Okay.
to survive, just to buy an extra 2 turns at the very least.
Okay.
I think so, but at the same time, if I'm David, I'm not sure what else I'm worried about. Maybe Impulse or Gush again. Like those are the only 2 other things that I'd want to do. Um, unless I really want to try to capitalize on getting rid of these stifles. Although I think like having this nightmare in the
There's a
battlefield.
force. Yeah, there's a
Okay, he
force
doesn't have a
though.
force. All right, so we'll keep 1 stifle, sure, and keep some
Okay.
mystery cards.
Okay.
Keeping this nightmare on the battlefield though really makes Dustin keep mana up for stifle.
And yeah, now you have to maybe put him and say like, okay, well, I'm gonna go for recurring nightmare now, and finish it because he's at 5. You can move one counter over.
Yeah. Um. Well, we're now a mana short from getting 2 counters over.
Yeah.
Um, but we can. What can we do? We can. Yeah, if we still had the wall of roots, if we had just used that mana a little bit differently,
We
then
could have
maybe.
just made a mon floated one. We had life. We could have just floated one, right?
Yeah,
And tried to have a peek.
yeah. But
Um,
that's you have to put your opponent on exactly having force of will for that
okay.
to be the right line. I think. Um, I mean that would have been a sweet line though. Portent.
Here's
Okay,
Portent.
who are we
Great.
targeting? We're
Wonderful.
targeting
Draw
ourselves.
draw card next turn. Awesome. Do that. I don't care about it because it's next turn, right?
Yep.
Or my turn. So you're not doing anything with that Force of Will right now, or with that Portent right now. You're not going to play Stasis as a result of casting Portent. So
Nope.
I am loving what's going on now.
This is
We
real
just
good
need
news
to,
for David. He's gonna
yeah.
get at least this on tap step, which is real big. It puts Dustin on basically having exactly one more. Um, Damage on the stack is not a triggered ability. You cannot stifle it in this format. So, notably,
He
this
takes
3
three and
damage is
goes
going
to
to come
two.
across.
So yeah, so this is happening, people. Um, we are we are hanging on. Um, you know, Stasis is hoping now. If we don't have it in hand still, hopefully we have an impulse. Maybe that's what we got off our Portent. We can clear off some crappy cards. Maybe we can find the Stasis to try to survive one more turn.
There are not a lot of cards in David's deck that I want to cast right now in this board state. I kind of want to leave my mana open. I think David's path to victory here is casting Stasis,
Yep.
and I'd like my mana
Uh,
open to make decisions. But
yeah, for sure, for sure.
although honestly, right now, it's freaking stifle now because I keep thinking, oh, if there's a Stasis, we just nuke our spike feeder, swamp them
Yep.
out with our veteran explorer. But this single stifle here. So yeah, if I want to do this plan, maybe resolving a creature that I can pitch to the last cabal therapy might make sense. But
You still have that option to gain mana through flashing back your therapy, also, if you're worried about, or if they do jam the stasis next turn.
sure.
So here we go. We're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
it.
No. I mean, I
Well,
guess we have the 2 power in the field. I guess it's
they're at
fine.
two. Yeah. So we're gonna
Yeah.
do it.
All right. So we're
They're
gonna
gonna
stifle the
go
mana
ahead and
trigger.
stifle the mana trigger,
All right. Sure. That's fine. Stifle's down. That's fine.
and we
Now this
name
nightmare is
stasis.
live.
Now we name stasis.
No. Stasis would have absolutely would have been played this turn. I have to name a card draw spell,
Okay.
or if
Impulse.
I want to resolve a spell, then
Is
I'm gonna
That's what
name
he's
a counter.
asking. Yeah. Do you have impulse? How many impulse down? How many?
Yeah.
Uh,
If I want to resolve a spell, then I'm gonna name a counter spell. But otherwise,
I feel like I said name stasis because we just need to attack one more time, right?
right? No,
uh,
that's fair.
and if he has impulse, he would have cast it already instead of like
Well,
just
and yeah,
stifling.
maybe
Like,
Dustin is waiting for the last possible moment, and for David to tap more land. So yeah, naming stasis I think is fine. If there's counter spells instead of stasis, then that's fine. You don't do anything, and your opponent has to draw actual stasis immediately.
yeah, I that's why I say if it resolves, you name stasis.
Yeah.
It seems like it's resolving. It seems like he's asking questions about the graveyard, trying to decide, and it's double force. That's beautiful. But okay, he named force. Wow,
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. And now shields are totally down. I think we just jam what we've got. Survival. Do
survival.
we have a creature? I guess it doesn't matter. What am I? Oh, I'm gonna go. No, I'm gonna survival for monk realist. That's what I'm gonna survival for, because my opponent has to draw actual
Stasis,
either
and
stasis
then
or chain of vapor.
yeah,
And if
and
he gets chain of
then
vapor, then I'm still fine. I've got all the resources I need to continue to win the game.
but you get monk realist, you can pitch it to survival, and then bring it back to okay Palancron. We're gonna
Oh
do
no,
the
game's
thing right
over.
now.
um,
So, but how do you end the game, or how do you make sure that? Well, I guess you just pass with an untapped Palancron, right?
I
Or an
think
untapped
Palancron allows us
Chroma.
to actually go get a Chroma, and then
Okay.
pass with the Chroma and play.
Okay.
And
Right.
then Stasis doesn't do it, neither does Chain of Vapor. Right? Because if we put Palancron in play, then we get Palancron in play, which is already lethal. That untaps
Yeah.
the land. We have 4 land,
We'll
which is enough
end
to.
with Palancron and a Chroma and some other stuff, right?
Right.
We'll have probably a Spike Feeder as well. So, nothing. There's no way to for them to
Yeah. So
end the
this
game.
this gives us another creature in hand. So this allows us to have 4 mana, which is enough to survival and cast Nightmare, which means we can get this back. We're gonna gain 2 life, and then we're gonna trade, untap our land.
Right.
I'm figuring out this. This is fun. I want to figure this out before David does. Pretend I know
Okay.
how to play his deck.
Untap our land. Then we're going to replay our Recurring Nightmare.
Yeah, and then we will survival this birds into a Chroma.
Now we're going to play a Birds to use for the Nightmare so we can have the Palancron in play and then just pass. Okay, because you don't need to get
Yeah, this is
fancy,
fine.
right?
We'll get a Chroma next turn, and that's good enough as well because we have everything we need.
Right.
Stasis isn't good enough, and neither is.
There is Stasis, but it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
he draws the Stasis.
But it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter though. We can attack with our 4/4. Oh
Boom.
my goodness, David's gonna get here. 2
Very
games to
good
1.
job. Very good job to both of our players in the second match. I was very happy with this match.
Wow. Dustin, we love you. We appreciate you being on stream. I don't want it to sound like we were rooting against you the whole time, even if it did
Oh,
sound that way.
not at all. And I made it clear that again, it's like not an easy deck to play. You played it very well, and it's very difficult. Did I see a time vault in there? He is playing the old school version. No, so yeah, no, it's a difficult deck to play, and I don't know. Again, I don't know the records, but I assume both are going to be very close. Is this a top 8 match?
This was kind of a last minute match that we set up, so I'm not entirely sure exactly what the records were. Um, but I know we've seen at least one of these players on stream before.
Yeah.
So the records that usually is an indication that
Well,
the
good luck. Good luck to both gentlemen. This is a
you
very nice match. Well played by both players. Thank you guys.
yeah, I thought it was great. I liked seeing Stifle. I think that made for some very interesting magic that happened. Just the thought of them being there. Um, that was not something that I expected. I really
Was the
want to
cursed
know.
totem still in the sideboard, or did that come in? The cursed totem is good.
There's got to be a cursed totem. If he's got cursed totem, let's see. Let's go back to our players here.
Well,
I
I'm
wish I
just
was having
saying,
their
like, did he
sideboard.
not bring that in? I would have brought that in, perhaps, because then you can't execute
Yeah.
that
Well,
combo with the
it
chroma,
does stop
right?
mana abilities, so absolutely.
It stops all the creature abilities,
Yeah,
activated abilities of creatures, right?
that would have had to have been in there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Uh,
Well, that is going to do it for tonight. We've had 2 rounds of Magic. We will have the conclusion of our league next week, where we play out the top 4. So instead of 2 matches, we will bring you 3, both little quarterfinals and or semis, as it would be, and then the finals themselves. So if you want to know who makes top 8, stick around in our Discord. We will announce those top 8 pairings there. And we'll also post our deck lists. We will be open deck lists for top 8, so everyone will know what is up, what's happening. And so it's going to be a lot of fun to see some sweet decks, see who's creative and made top 8. We've seen some goblins. We've seen, the Tax Rat Blue Tog deck from Andrew. We've seen some elves around. We've seen a whole bunch of different things.
should be cool. Should
So
be
I'm excited
cool.
for it.
Well, thanks for having me on again. I know it was a little last minute, but I'm happy to be on again this season, and hopefully back again next season in the booth.
Well, it's always a pleasure, of course. So tune in next week where we conclude our event. Um, we've had 6 rounds. This concludes 6 rounds of our league. Join us again next league if you haven't played. It is proxy friendly over a webcam, so there's not a lot stopping you. If you don't want to go to Kinko's and print out a deck, just bug your friend. They'll do it for you, I'm sure. Tell them I sent you. They probably won't know me, but that's okay. It'll be fun.
For sure, for sure.
Well,
Reach out to any of us if you have questions. If you're just tuning in, checking out middle school, jump in. Romancing the Stones guys on Twitter. Find me on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Ask questions.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you. There's still a lot to be explored in this format. It is not the same as pre-modern. It is similar, but not the same. But yeah, so that will do it. Yeah, I can't even talk. It's so late. I've been watching Stasis too long. That will do it for tonight. We've loved having you guys. Thanks, chat, for participating. And if you tuned in late and want to see what happened in our first match, this video will be on our YouTube down the road. But until then, we'll see you next week.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks, Rob. Have a good night.